means like never let a friend skip work leg day. I don't ever have a leg day. I don't need them. I literally have tree trunks for fucking legs. And it's all fucking muscle, pure muscle.
How did you get those?
Like I said, I spent my entire childhood and up to my 20s biking everywhere. You know, you do that long enough, it's like that's just who you are. You know, I never have to work on my legs like ever.
So,
yeah.
I mean, do you have like very short legs then? Because
no.
How tall are you?
I'm about 6 foot, just shy of 6 foot.
That's pretty short, but
the average height of a man worldwide average is 5'9". So no, I'm not sure.
I mean, yeah, the average is not really that high. Like,
yeah, I'm 5'11" and I'm okay with it.
I mean, I'm 6 dwarf to me.
You 6
my
what?
child.
What you kind of?
I'm 6'7".
Okay,
like,
you're 6'7". No, I'm 6'7". You need to be playing basketball, like professional basketball, and you need to watch your blood pressure. You need to watch your blood pressure too, man. Like when you get that tall, I hear you get blood pressure problems.
I mean, my ex-girlfriend is 6'3". You're very small, man.
I would imagine you would choose taller girlfriends being 6'7".
I mean, how tall is your wife, Kaiser?
I don't have a wife.
Oh wow, what happened?
What do you mean? What happened? You're implying that I had a wife at some time. Like
I mean, you're like 46 years old. Why not?
Why do you think I'm 46?
I mean, so most people at that age like have experienced some shit and have done.
All right. So wait. I asked you a question. Why do you think I'm 46 years old?
Oh shit! Didn't you say that sometime?
No.
How old are you?
I'm 41.
I mean, same shit, man.
Oh, same shit.
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah, you're like 28 years old, right?
I'm 20, man.
Oh, well, same shit.
Today.
Same shit. You're 28. Same
hey,
shit.
Ronaldo, one thing, bro. You're fucking 20, but you still can't get fucking laid, right?
I mean,
I
do.
Yeah.
You can't get fucking laid. That's why you're in this fucking room, bitch.
Dude, like Hellboy, I've got a side for Rivaldo here. First off, I got a side for Rivaldo.
Look at the chat. Look at the chat.
Rivaldo, I got a side. I got a side with Rivaldo here because he just said that he had a girlfriend that was 6'3", and if he didn't get laid from her, like that's really sad. So I got a side for Rivaldo with that, and like call you out on your bullshit, Hellboy.
Yeah, Hellboy, I peed on her face. Okay, I not only did the sex, I did all the things as well.
What I'm saying is this, bro. What I'm saying is this: you spend a lot of time in this fucking chat room, which tells me that introverted. Secondly, you don't get laid.
Why?
Why? Because I know what the fuck is up with you.
Hellboy.
Fucking the man.
Hellboy.
Right? You think it's funny. You think it's fun. And actually, essentially, what you think is room, you make yourself feel better about yourself.
Hellboy, you are making yourself look so bad right now. I'm sorry, man.
I'm sorry, I'm not. This is exactly
Bro,
what
you are projecting so hard. It's
right
crazy.
about this, Rivaldo. You know I'm right.
You are jealous, Hellboy.
I am not jealous. Why the fuck would I be jealous of someone
he's
like
the fresh prince. Because he's the fresh prince of flat Earth, dude. Look at that hair.
No, that's
honestly, like Rivaldo. Look. If I was a fucking girl, I would fuck Heiser before I would fuck you. Because
why is that?
Dick is probably AIDS infected.
I mean, listen, I'm only black. That doesn't mean that I'm like infected, man.
No. I'm not saying your dick is AIDS infected because you're black.
Actually, Rivaldo, I wouldn't have ever expected you to be.
Your dick is AIDS infected because at least Heiser has enough sense to put a fucking rubber on.
Rivaldo, you look more like, I thought you were like maybe Asian, Indian or something like that. I don't think you're.
Nah.
I didn't think you were black.
I'm human, man. I'm human.
No.
You just got that nice milky skin.
See, bitches, if you fuck and then wondered afterwards, did I get AIDS from that shit?
Like 2 times, man. It's not that bad.
That's 2 times too many for us.
Oh wow.
2 times too many, bro. I have not once fucked a bitch.
Yeah, but once fucked period.
What's going on around here? What the fuck?
Hellboy's really having his virginity. He needs his virginity.
Kaiser, you need to shut the fuck up. You don't get it? I'm on your fucking back right now. I've got your fucking back right now, and yet you wanna sit there like a dumb bitch.
I don't need you to vouch for me.
Really, Kaiser, this is what you wanna do. Kaiser, this is what you wanna do, bitch. Play this game.
This
is what you want to do.
At someone.
You can choose your friends, but you can't choose your family.
When someone's got your fucking back.
Okay, Hellboy, this is a debate flat Earth channel. Telling somebody that they probably have AIDS is not relevant, nor
very relevant.
Should be any part of this conversation.
It's the foundation of his argument. Shut the fuck up, okay? Let him speak.
Okay.
Let me fucking speak, bitch.
Listen, the new guys don't understand.
Of my argument.
There's new people here. They don't understand.
It's entertaining. Hellboy is our entertainment for today. Yeah.
Right, you know, I'm gonna take like Twit does not interrupt me unless there's a need to do so, and therefore I will shut the fuck
up. Oh boy. So Boinkus, do you want to actually discuss the flat Earth?
No, I'm done.
So what do you believe about it?
I'm a globe earther.
Why are you a globe earther?
A lot of little things, like
Let's go through.
Of course, when I was littler, it was basically all just photos from space. That was like my entire thing. But when you actually start looking into it, there's more to it than just, hey, they have pictures from outer space. There's also, things like the Coriolis effect and the Utbush effect, and experiments like the Cavendish experiment, which have been repeated by, college students around, every year.
Yeah, sure, I see.
It all, amalgamates to a pretty good.
Can we go step by step? I will lead you through it, okay? So you only have to reply yes or no, okay? These are very simple, circumspect questions. So do you agree that the government lies from time to time?
Yeah, they have before.
Do you agree that you cannot get variables like polar motion, crustal deformation, or the movement of tectonic plates yourself, but need to trust a government agency to deliver those variables to you?
That is false.
Wait, can you repeat that for me, Sir Rivaldo?
Do you agree that certain variables, like for example polar motion, crystal deformation, or like the spatial or temporal variation of Earth's gravitational field, you need to get these variables from the government? You cannot get these yourself.
No, you can get it from independence.
Sure. Okay. How would you measure polar motion yourself? Can you explain that to me?
I haven't actually really looked into it at all, but I'm sure there are studies. It's not exclusive to just the government measuring them.
Okay, how would you know what impact the weight of the Himalaya mountains have on Earth's gravitational field if it is not with satellites which are authorized by the government?
So what?
How can that be?
I can do that with my satellites, and I'm not the government.
What impact does the Himalayan mountains have on Earth's gravity?
Yeah, you have to answer yes or no, though. Remember how he set this up.
Yeah, how? You can't answer a how question with a yes or a no.
Yes, the answer is yes. There you go.
Okay. So you need to trust the government on certain variables. That's the point, right?
No.
On the matters of science, no.
Okay, can you give me a variable which you don't have to have at least a little faith in?
One variable, like one scientific variable that I don't have to get.
Wait. That it's a trap. He's trying to make a philosophical question in a scientific inquiry.
Come on, it's yes or no.
You can't do that.
It's yes or no. I would say, are you asking for a scientific variable that I don't get from the government? Like I don't have to rely on them for?
Or scientists,
Or scientists. Well, little g.
I mean, listen, so academia are also controlled and monitored by the government, right?
But Sir Rivaldo, little g is something you can measure at home. It's just the local acceleration of of things falling down.
Sure, but you need to understand that these variables, like your little g, are all very interconnected. Let's say that we have a variable like atmospheric refraction.
I'm gonna no. I have to stop you there.
Huh?
No.
So I'm guessing he's going into saying that you
fucked
can
up.
derive little g from
let Ruckus say.
You fucked up already, but now you really fucked up. The acceleration is meters per second squared. All you need is a ruler and a stopwatch.
Okay,
let's
let the two guys keep talking, because I mean we're kind of making it like he didn't know how to answer, so somebody has to answer for him. So
sorry, my bad. It's just when you say something like that, it's just I do my best to shut up now.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, it's not in a really like little g. Sure, it can be derived from the the universal gravitational constant and stuff like that, but you can also just measure it. So there's that.
I mean, it also varies depending on the location that you're at, right?
Yeah, it varies a tiny bit, but I mean, have you heard of geoids or anything like that?
No, explain it to me.
All right, basically, a geoid is a hypothetical sphere, basically, that if something were covered in water, since water, as you always say it, finds its level, or as scientists say it forms to the forces acting on it, it'll always be perpendicular to the forces acting on it, meaning that if you have a sphere covered in only water, and that it's exerting a gravitational pull on that water, it'll actually form like peaks and valleys purely because of the differing gravitational strengths. And it'll that's when you see the things on Google Images that are there's elevated parts that are red and lower parts that are blue and stuff, that's a geoid, but that's magnified like thousands of times.
So I've never seen that on the you just said on Google Maps.
Oh, Google Earth, or not Google Images. Sorry, it's just like you can. Here, I'll just get a picture of one really quickly.
They don't have that shit on Google Earth.
No, sorry, I meant to say Google Images. What did I say? There it is. Here's a geoid.
Yeah, you're basically answering the question of how does Mount Everest affect the gravitational pull of the, that is the correct
he was
answer.
Asking, he was asking if the local gravity changes, and it does. And an example of this would be like
and also he's not aware. He's not aware. Wait! I talk first. Shut the fuck up. He's also not aware. He's also not aware. He is also not. I'm giving information. He is also not aware that it's not just the surf.
Turn the drunk down to zero and carry on, or he'll sidetrack it.
Yes. You want to help me to speak? Okay, go ahead and speak. I was speaking first, but it doesn't matter to Quartus. Go ahead and speak, boy.
I promise you can drink more than you can wait for.
This is important stuff.
What you trying to say, Maximus? What you trying to say?
Okay. What's happening now? What was the question again?
All right, so since Hellboy's not speaking, I would like to add that geoid is not just taking into account the crust of the Earth. There are internal structures as well being taken into account. Thank you, Quartus. I gave information that was important, but it doesn't matter to you because you just don't like me. Yeah, thanks, Quartus, you dickhead.
Thanks, Quartus.
Thanks,
Quantus.
Yeah, basically, local gravity can be affected by the density of the
Quartus, you body bastard.
Stuff like that.
But Boinkus, so this has to do with Newton's second law of motion, right? Force is mass times acceleration, blah, blah, blah. You still need to account for variables like mass. We still have no idea what causes mass or the deeper foundation. Yeah, sure, like the deeper foundation of it. One second, but let me finish. So we also use these, our lack of understanding is also formed in theories like general relativity, in which we predict that black holes have a infinite density, while infinity is, of course, an abstraction. So at a quantum level, we aren't sure what causes these type of phenomena. You understand that, right?
We don't have to. We don't have to.
One second. Why the fuck is Rivaldo talking about quantum level? We're talking about fucking how we see fucking shit.
On top of that, he's asking like 4 questions at once. Let me answer the first one about your second law, Newton's second law.
Oh, fuck up, dude! I don't want to hear you answering that shit.
All right, number one.
Wait, hold on, guys. Hold on, guys. Boink and Rivaldo entered into this
absolutely
discussion, and you're not giving him a chance to answer Rivaldo's ridiculous questions.
Well, it's not the ridiculous questions that I'm arguing against. It's the fact that they get false.
Kaiser, it's not your turn.
I have to go for dinner. I'll be back.
I understand what fallacies he's using. I'm fully aware of what's happening.
Rivaldo is trying to take.
But this isn't a formal.
Rivaldo just bitch quit.
Oh, he's gone. Oh no, he's not. Oh, he definitely did.
He bitch quit it.
You rage quit life, Hellboy.
I wasn't rage quit. That was bitch quit. Very big difference.
Oh, you changed your name to
Very
Bitcoin now?
big difference.
I mean, now that he's gone, I guess I have to go for breakfast anyways. So when he
you can't bitch quit too.
But he's gone. I have no one to talk to now, and my dad's bothering me to go.
Kaiser's here. Kaiser.
All right, I gotta go. But
Phil,
somebody's able to continue this conversation.
Kaiser.
What we're talking about? I mean, I wasn't really sure what we're talking about.
You're never sure what we're talking about.
Yeah, I just come here to fuck around. Okay, I'll try to fucking like fill this spot. So, but he left too. So fuck it, can't do it no more. Kaiser, what you just did, Kaiser? Do you see what you just did? You made them fucking quit, dude. You see what you just did?
He's deafened.
Fucking Kaiser, man. Be a good man, Kaiser. Boy. Like,
I wish I knew.
Yeah, like I wake up every day and I think to myself, how can I be a good boy today? I think we should all strive to be good boys.
I would like to be a good man. Good luck. You can play with your.
You what?
Pa, a good man.
Hey, dude, if you are trying to be funny, then
Oh man,
you're not gonna win today. You're not gonna win today.
Hellboy, you're never funny.
I am very, very drunk.
I'm probably the seventh funniest person in the world.
Oh, dude.
Or at least in this room.
No, bro, you are not the 7th person. If you was the 7th funniest person in the world,
it's G.
What's the funniest thing the 6th funniest person said?
And that's why I don't eat tacos anymore. That was the punchline.
That was great. That was.
You didn't say what to
great.
say. That was the taco joke, dude.
Great.
You don't remember that joke?
No, that was from great, dude. Very funny guy.
That was the last part of that joke from that stand-up show last year with Dave.
It's hilarious.
Tacos shouldn't have bones.
Tacos should not have votes. That's
only terrorists. Only terrorists don't eat tacos.
Just, like, you guys make it points.
Yes.
Like fucking, we got 1
Nipples,
point.
And that's how I got my bit.
Come on, please. Someone make a 3rd point, please. Someone say something fucking funny, please.
Serious question though. Why does Hellboy still have a talker role?
That's not funny. That's dead serious.
Good morning, everybody.
You get bitch slapped.
Oh,
You're looking at getting bitch slapped.
Get bitch slapped. Getting bitch slapped by
Curved question. Do you want to get bitch slapped?
Sure, why not? I wouldn't mind getting tickled.
I'm asking Curved. Do you want to get bitch slapped?
I want to get man. You want to get a mushroom bruiser?
Good morning, Christopher.
Wish I knew you when
I can't believe haggis beans are dissing sausage gravy.
And I was in a fucking room the whole night, fucking yesterday, and I think that I was trying to get some people up in this room for us, right? So like, you know, Curved can fucking get his frustration out, and fucking,
Why
you know,
is Hellboy lit up?
Because you
My
know,
computer not functioning.
Curved has problems. He needs to get his frustration out on people sometimes.
we're going to be turning you off here soon, Hellboy.
No. You gotta understand something about Curved. Is like he doesn't bust a nut with women. He busts a nut when he talks and smacks down to his point. So I was trying to get that for my man right here, right? Because, you know, I take care of my peoples in the room. I think I did a good job, and I think that I ended up getting kicked out the fucking room because obviously that's what's gonna happen to me, right?
All right, so we're muting.
But I got some people in the room that can take them.
The light's gonna burn out before I ever hear them.
Hey, bro, I got you some fucking fresh fish, bro. Some fresh fucking fish. Curved. I got you some fresh fucking fish. They all fucking went to bed.
Hey, Hellboy. I'm here for you. I just want to mention that you sound a lot better when you're muted.
I do, but I'm just trying to say, man. I try to bring you guys fresh fish. Recognize what I do for this room, man. You guys don't recognize that shit, bro.
Bro, when you leave, this server is fucking chaos. You are the glue that holds us together.
Rivaldo, shut the fuck up.
It's true, Hellboy.
You're a bit of a cocker,
Although you're the glue that holds the server together.
But I'm always fucking muted. Rivaldo, I'm always fucking muted. Like, it takes, like, a very long time, first of all, to get unmuted.
Rivaldo shouldn't be weighing the Himalayas.
Clap that booty curve.
How do you...
You know, Rivaldo is not wrong about that. There are a few people that actually make the conversation happen.
That's true.
Hey, Curve, I'm trying the new quarter pounder of cheese.
I will say this. Rivaldo is the conversation maker.
Thank you, Hellboy. You are a conversation maker as well.
McDonald's got that bacon.
Exactly what he said.
Hellboy, prove that you're always muted.
Hey, but you gotta understand something, dude. When shit gets fucking boring as fuck,
he doesn't.
Hello walks in, right? Shit gets interesting again.
I like the bacon double cheeseburger, and then you get a McChicken and throw the chicken patties on the cheeseburger, and then cover that with the hot mustard sauce.
The burger. Yes,
that's a good.
Fuck up, Curve. You know what I'm saying. What I'm saying.
It's just a giant chicken McNugget.
All right, Curved. I know you very well. Am I wrong about this, Curved?
Is he wrong, Curved?
Is who wrong?
The double
man.
Cheeseburger.
I can't hear him.
The double bacon cheeseburger. Is that wrong?
Is that wrong, Curved? He is asking you a very circumspect question.
Is what wrong? Rivaldo, I'm not listening to him. What did he ask?
Nothing.
He asked, are you made of sugar?
Yeah, something about sugar and something.
So Rivaldo, you do realize that the vast majority of mass in protons and neutrons comes from the inertia of the subatomic particles basically going back and forth inside the structure.
Fuck. Fuck, dude, you sounded very fucking.
I don't think that's really an accurate way to describe that myself.
It's pretty accurate.
I don't think so.
I'm sorry, but it just is what it is.
Inertia is not from the motion of the particles.
Okay.
Guys, seriously. Are you guys really here to prove fucking flat Earth?
Okay, so
we're here to see how dumb you.
Hey,
If you guys are really here to prove flat Earth, if you guys are really here to fucking prove flat Earth,
kind of big.
That's stupid ass bullshit.
Okay, Curve. Hellboy's trying to say something really intelligent.
Right?
So you can't hear him, but he's really intelligent shit.
Hey, yeah, Tony. To all Brits here, Oreos are fucking cookies,
he's saying blah blah
biscuits.
Okay, funny. Is that an oxymoron? Hellboy saying something intelligent.
Minus the oxy. Oh, there, seventh funniest man in the world.
Hey, Zoba, is that Zoba fucking talking again? Zoba, look, you can't talk to me unless you get a fucking interesting voice.
I can talk to you whenever I want.
Oh, listen, bro, you can talk to me, but I would much prefer if you had a little bit of fucking
intonation.
Can you just not sound so boring, please? Because you make me.
I
can't. I'm following after you.
Hey, for Rivaldo, why do you think the Higgs boson is so important in mass in the first place? Where did that problem arise, and how did it get solved?
The Higgs boron. The Higgs boron, really? Shut the fuck up.
Boson. The Higgs boson.
Shut the fuck up, bitch.
It might be boring to you.
Why do you tell me this? The Higgs
I'm not talking to you. I was talking to Rivaldo.
How the fuck?
He says the Higgs mole
fucking real.
Rivaldo doesn't even know who Boson the Clown is.
I mean, that's Hellboy. Anyway,
I
could totally fray this shit apart. With just
wait, I think something's wrong with Rivaldo's mic.
But I could.
Rivaldo, I think his mic's messed up because I see his light on, but like nothing's coming.
Yeah, I know. It's always on. It's always green.
My mic's on, bitch. Hey.
Rivaldo's light's always on, but he never
you want me
says
to
anything
fuck with your
intelligent.
You want me to fuck with your mixed boron fucking shit?
Boson.
Tell you what's up with that.
The Higgs moron?
How the fuck you did your mixed boron?
Oh, guys, there's someone like right outside our about 100 feet away that is fucked up. He's stumbling around and shit. Oh my god! He's got a bad case of the Higgs moron.
Yeah, the motherfucker
smoked the Higgs boson, man. Shit.
There's something wrong with his medulla oblongata.
Stop being a fucking boson.
Oh, he's got a friend. He's got a friend too.
Is Higgs boson that weird clown? Oh wait, no, never mind. That's Bozo.
Yeah.
No, sorry.
Hey, you're never gonna be the seventh funniest man with those jokes.
Hey guys, you know what, guys? Seriously, give fucking Kaiser some respect.
God, here we go. How long are you gonna be on here, just like drunk talking shit?
No, hold up. I'm saying
just to let us know, like when I can come back.
Shut the fuck up. Kaiser needs fucking respect. What's up? What do you gotta say, man?
That guy's just talking to himself. He's rapping.
No,
never mind.
Kaiser's very smart.
I was really wanting to talk to Rivaldo, but I mean, I don't know.
I'm trying as well.
Bitch. Rivaldo's fucking listening. Go. What to say?
Oh. Hey, Hellboy, you just need to stick your foot in your black hole, okay? Be quiet.
Hey, Rivaldo, I mean, if you like, might want to restart.
Yeah, sure. So let me tell you what the problem here is. So most people like you think that they know what mass is, but you only understand part of the story. For instance, an elephant is clearly more bulky and weighs more than an ant. even in the absence of gravity, because the elephant would have more atoms, more mass in this case, right?
Right. It's inertial.
So,
inertial mass.
okay, so this is where you are wrong. So it would be harder to push and set into motion. That's why. That's what that's how we describe mass. So obviously the elephant is more massive because than the ant, but what determines the mass of individual atoms? That's what I'm trying to talk about.
That's what I'm talking about too. The mass from individual atoms, well, most of it can be accounted for, especially with the nuclei, the nucleus of the atom, because most of the mass can be accounted for. Almost all of it can be accounted for the inertial internal motions of the quarks and the subatomic particles. Anytime you have like,
you go way beyond, bro.
Go ahead, Hellboy. Go ahead, Hellboy.
Honestly, you're not answering the question.
Go ahead. So you answer for me. Go ahead.
Fucking question, bitch.
Anyway, all right. So anyway, the reason that the Higgs boson got into play is particularly because of the electron. It was already confirmed 100 years ago that the electron has mass, but there was nothing to account for it. It was just a complete mystery of how the electron was getting mass. And it was through the Higgs it was hypothesized by Peter Higgs that there was some kind of interaction.
Again, you're going way on, and you're not asking the fucking question.
Mr. Higgs to you.
Why the fuck is an elephant?
No, don't even finish the statement. Whatever you're gonna say.
I don't have. Yeah, you're right. It's a useless thing. Yeah.
Dude, you can't.
Yeah, so what I meant is that even electrons have tinier, at quantum level, they have tinier things going around them, which just poof and go away, or like get into existence and go away out of existence, just out of pure randomness. And
it's not random. It's not random. That's how the Higgs boson was discovered. It was known where to look for it. The problem with where to look for it, as far as the energy levels, was the noise. The energies of I think it was between 120 and 125 mega electron volts.
Sounds like they presupposed it, Kaiser. Sounds like we got a bad case of Mr. Bose presupposing his particle was going to be where it was.
It's a hypothesis based on known. No. Actually, the where it was looking for, that actually didn't come to much later, because the whole range was being targeted, and it was confirmed that they basically had to hunt it down piece by piece. And it was like, if it did exist, it had to be in a certain range between 100 and 125 mega electron volts, which in that area was already noisy as fuck as it was. So they needed something that was much bigger, particularly the Large Hadron Collider, to isolate it. It needed something with a lot more punch. All right. Anytime you're dealing with a very heavy particle, or something with a lot of energy, you have to have an equally large particle accelerator to expose it.
How big of a particle accelerator do we need to expose the flat Earth?
Like something as big as a fingernail. Not much. Basically, the whole point is the Higgs boson acts as a back and forth, in which the electron has two spins, and it has a right direction and a left direction, and it goes back and forth, and this was known already, but the mechanism in which it interacts with back and forth was not verified in experiment. That's where the Higgs boson comes into existence. The back and forth, anytime you have an inertial back and forth, you're going to have mass. And I mean, as far as the protons and neutrons, as far as the nuclei of the atom are concerned, the vast majority of the mass is accounted for. But the mass of the electron was not, and the Higgs boson pretty much completed that model.
I don't understand what you're saying. How could you have an inertial back and forth with anything that's not mass?
All right. Maybe I can better explain this. It's mass.
Can you finish your explanation before I get back from breakfast?
Yeah, actually, yeah. Mass is basically nothing more.
I don't want to hear about it when I get back. So finish up.
Mass is basically nothing more than bound energy. It's energy that's bound. So when you have it's caged energy. So when you have something going back and forth, jostling all the way in a caged source, in a caged area, you're going to get mass. That's all mass is bound, caged energy.
Man, you have a lot of mass, Kaiser.
Like a UFC fighter?
Yeah.
Yeah, but one thing that you aren't naming is that like the invisible entities called fields, because when we are talking about mass, we are talking about it in relation to its effects on a field. Like we cannot isolate space and time to perform tests on space and time, so we don't understand.
Don't call it an entity.
Sorry, what?
Don't call it an entity. It's not an entity.
I mean, it is an invisible entity.
When you're saying entity, it's like you're saying it's alive or something.
No, it's something that can be interactive with by the particle. I can call it a field as well.
Okay, I see. Okay. That's what you meant. Just want to make sure you weren't getting the spirit.
No, I'm not talking about ghosts or something like that.
Hey, Rivaldo, I have a very deep question for you. Is Hellboy an entity?
No, Hellboy is omniscient. He's like a god, like a divine being, something inspirational that we can derive something from. Like you don't realize it now, but he really has value.
I actually feel confident. I feel confident praying to Hellboy.
Exactly. So how was the Higgs field actually created? What created it? What created the Higgs field in such a way that other particles could have mass?
That's for the philosophers to work on. Not my thing. I mean, don't get me wrong. I have nothing against philosophy, nothing at all. I just, when I don't know something, I let it go. I don't worry about not knowing something.
I mean, don't you want to know everything?
How do you know that, Kaiser?
Not really. No, I don't want to know everything. Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know. If I knew everything, I think everything would be pretty boring, wouldn't it? I mean, wouldn't it be? It would almost be like, oh, that would suck. Think about it. Knowing everything would really suck.
Why? Because you cannot get surprised anymore. Or...
Yeah.
It would suck.
No, because then you could just teach people.
Hear him tell us everything he knows.
Damn it! I should have thought of that. That was a good one. Son of a good one. Good one. See, that's what I'm looking for here. Quick wit like that. I want humor. I want all this serious talk about is gravity real? No.
Hey Matt, that picture, like the thing that guy's holding, it's CGI'd because it's got like a grid on it.
Are you CGI, Kaiser?
That depends. You want me to be?
No, that's underwear. I'm asking, are you CGI?
Could be.
Perfect. I knew it. Could we get a picture to prove it?
An MRI picture?
Sure. I mean, that's computerized. Go ahead.
Kaiser.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
Huh?
I'm getting lag. Hold on.
should get out of the MRI machine. You're allowed.
Kaiser got a bad problem.
Why don't I ever get good problems? I only get bad problems.
Because you're Kaiser.
Kaiser permanent.
So I was reading about identity a little bit, and it seems like you cannot make a good scientific argument to say that, let's say that you have a picture of yourself 10 years ago, you cannot make a good scientific argument to argue that that is really you, because every 7 to 8 years, all the cells in your body have replaced themselves. So let's say that we have a ship, right? And every year we take like...
Does your brain replace itself?
Yes, yes. The neurons
replace themselves. I didn't know brain.
Yeah, the neurons in your synapses replace themselves as well.
No, they don't. They don't. I'm sorry, that's completely untrue.
I mean, a lot of your neurons die over time.
Rivaldo, if that was true, then I could take a IQ test in 7 years, and it would turn out a different solution than it had before.
Oh, I got one better. If that were true, I could have a lobotomy, and it would be useless in 8 years. Last I checked, hey, Rivaldo, I got my tonsils taken out when I was 6. Guess what? They didn't grow back.
I know, but we are talking about your brain, right? So let's say that you replace one atom in your brain with another atom, which is exactly the same, right? You would still be as smart. You aren't getting any smarter over time. But yeah, you do grow in the sense that sometimes when you are in your developing stages, more atoms or like more biological traits form then disappear, right? So that's how you grow. Now,
I think that only happens to the outside of your body. Most your butt.
Everybody you know's died. Hold your breath. Count to 5. Rump shape earthquake. I can't remember the song.
Is that Britney Spears?
No, Peter Gabriel.
Oh, okay. Close enough.
In your...
Please, let's not make this a singing hour.
You're right.
Yeah. Fucking hits back in the day, man.
Yo, I'm in your motherfucking eyes. No lies.
Go, Rivaldo, continue with that shit. Is it true? I don't know.
Yeah, it's true. Shout out to you, by the way. So let's say that...
What's up, Chris? Boom.
Boom. We're tight. Perfect.
So let's say... Huh? Sorry. All right, so let's say that you have a ship in your room, and every day you replace like one little part of the ship, and in total it has like 300 parts, right? After 300 days, and you have replaced all parts of the ship single-handedly, would it still be the still ship, or would you call it a different ship?
If you had a mark, they had an handle every day, would it be the same up?
Rivaldo, I don't think you realize that brain cells are not they don't get replaced like other skin cells. They're not the same. It's not the same. You realize that, right?
Yeah, I sure. Wait, let me read a little bit more about this. Are you talking about neurons when you mean brain cells?
Do you mean dendrites? Any dendrite pathways?
I'm just saying, Rivaldo, it would be. There's a reason evolution is geared it that way, because I have it would like, how do you retain memory? I mean, if what you're saying is true, it would be irrelevant, because let's say it's a clone. Let's say it's a complete clone from the original. It wouldn't matter. So what's your point?
Yeah, sure. So I'm reading on lifescience.com right now that cells have a finite lifespan, and these cells all get replaced over
yeah,
time.
yeah,
And
but
the period,
that's why we die. Yeah, that's why we die.
yeah, it gets replaced after 7 years. It says on this article. After 7 years,
what
you are a
does?
completely new person. Every cell in your body.
Actually, that's not true. That is not true.
Can you name something about your
Yeah,
body
what
that
happens
doesn't
if
change?
I've never cut my hair? What happens if I never cut my hair?
I mean, we are talking about the cells, right?
Yeah,
like red
he
blood
asked
cells.
a valid question. What happens if you don't cut your hair for 7 years?
I mean, your hair's not like part of your.
I'm being semantic. I know. I'm being semantic, but
yeah, your fingernails are not like alive, right? Your cells are actually like
right.
processing information.
As soon as they stop, producing the nail, then yeah, I guess it would be not part of you anymore. It would be a growing part at least. Well,
I mean, what is a part of you? I mean, if one neuron was replaced, would that be a part of you? I mean, if it's being replaced with something that's doing the same exact purpose, then what's actually being lost?
Okay, so let's say this, okay? Let's say that you have a house and you break that whole house down and now you build a new house. Would you still or like you build on top of that broken house, right? Would you still call it your old house or is it a totally new house?
That's not really what you're saying. What you're saying is having a new house and over time replacing pieces within the house. All right, and things like they are doing the same exact thing. Like I said, take the brain for example. When you're not losing information, being memory, or the ability to perform a task that you're innately attuned to, then what exactly are you losing?
I mean, you are losing nothing. That's not what I'm saying, okay? I'm saying that you are losing your soul, like your identity. So let's go back to the ship example.
You're not. You're not losing your soul or identity because what's being replaced is the same memory, the same innate ability. Let's take a professional piano player that has been a professional piano player for 25 years and started playing the piano when he was 5, and he has the same ability when he was 5 as he did when he was 25. So you're saying all of these things are being replaced in 7 years, but he's not losing any innate ability. So he's not exactly losing anything, is he?
That's a bad example. This is a better example. Let's take
why is it? You have to explain why that's a bad example.
Because the piano player in this situation is progressing because he is learning things, right? So I'm not talking about a house which gets like a renovation and gets something on top.
No, wait. I'm talking about innate abilities. Innate abilities. All right. He doesn't have to get somebody with innate abilities does not have to quote unquote get better. They have that talent to begin with.
Hey, Kaiser, I can add to that. I have a cousin who has the innate ability to read any piece of music and play it. Does that change in 7 years or 20 years? No, he's still able to do the same thing. That innate ability was with him since he was.
Yeah.
Every 7 years it doesn't change, and all of a sudden that innate ability goes away. What do you have to say about that,
Revolve? I think you guys are misunderstanding my example. Let's take the ship for example, because it illustrates the point better.
Piano player that can read music and has been ever since he started playing.
What about it?
If every 7 years your whole body changed, then why is he still able to pick up a different piece of music that he started with?
I understand, okay? So he has a big brain, okay? And when a little atom, like a little neuron, gets replaced in his brain, that doesn't have an effect on his memory. Do you know why? Because it's the exact same neuron that was already there and is performing the exact same task.
So that's not saying somebody's losing anything. It's just being replaced after that one has expired or death or anything. And basically, it's replenishing what is already there. So he's not losing his soul, as you described.
I mean, he is not the same person as he was 10 years ago in the sense of...
No. That's you're straw manning now.
So let me give you the ship example because it illustrates the point perfectly. Like, let's say that you have a ship and it has 100 parts, right? And every day for 100 days you replace one part of the ship. Will it still be the same ship?
I see where you're going now, Rivaldo. I underestimated you. I have to admit. I see where you're going with this. You're talking about the semantics of the same, like the same
identity,
as far as,
yeah.
Yeah, but the identity is the same. You're talking about the same piece. It's like I have a computer right here next to me. Okay, I have my CPU. I had to replace my CPU with the same CPU. It's basically on a die. You know what a die is, right? Not die as in death. Die as in something being created on a die. I don't know how to also call it a die. It's something being stamped, a die. All right, that makes the CPU. It's on the same.
Casting something.
I'm thank you. Casting something. It's the same exact casting die of the other CPU. It does the exact same functions. I'm not losing or changing anything about it. It's just a different die. Are you trying to give value? It's almost like you're trying to give a sentimental value to a practical value.
So in that example, let's say that instead of the CPU, like every day you replace something about your computer, and after a while, like everything got replaced. Is it still the same computer?
Yes, it is. As far as its functionality, its practicality, yes. The only reason I would say it's different is because it used other parts that are the same as they are now. Sorry, try. But like it would not lose its identity because what identifies it is what it is, what it can do. Like it can do the same thing, and it does the same thing, and it performs the same way as it did with the other parts. It's just it's using different parts of the same cast. It's like you're trying to make a sentimental value out of it. Which is very clever. It's very. I actually am, giving you kudos to the cleverness of that.
Yeah, we are talking like about metaphysics, about identity, and what falls under identity. How would you identify like an object, like a computer, over time when you start replacing things?
The same way, if all of the parts are identical,
analogy is bad.
What? No, wait. I want to answer this question. Wait. Let me answer this question. If all of the parts that are being replaced are the same, exact from the same die from the same cast, I don't see any difference in identity. All I see is maybe a sentimental value from the beginning. That's as far as I can go.
Yeah, sure. So now back to like the scientific example. Let's say that there is a picture of you from 10 years ago. If your cells really replace if all of your cells have replaced after 7 years, in what sense can you say that you are still the same person? Because nothing of you currently matches that person on the picture, right?
Well, all right. Yeah, well, you're talking about somebody getting older. That's really pushing. That's actually you're actually pushing identity politics. You're not putting an individual value on anything. You're literally trying to. It's like a fascist. That's a fascist way to look at things.
If somebody has a heart,
that's fascist shit.
It's a soul argument. It's a soul argument. It's a spiritual argument.
It's very philosophical.
If a human being has a heart transplant, are they still the same person afterwards?
I would say yes.
It's about the same.
Okay, but what if the person has a transplant of other body parts, a lot of body parts, will it still be the same person? Like if the person's head got removed, or for a new head, let's say.
Right. So you've gone outside.
That doesn't actually happen. So it's kind of an irrelevant argument.
I mean, it's an hypothetical. You know what a hypothetical is, right?
Well, yeah, but you're. I was waiting for this to happen. Eventually, I knew, Rivaldo, you were going to go outside of science and get into some realm of either pseudoscience or hypotheticals or abstracts, what you call it, and that you reached that. So I'm done.
Why don't you like philosophy?
I don't. It's not that I don't like philosophy. I do like philosophy, but when I want to talk about philosophy, when the subject is philosophical, I keep it philosophical. When the subject is scientific, I keep it scientific. It's when people want to take science and then bleed it over into philosophy. That's when I'm like, okay, that's it. I'm done.
Don't you think that science and philosophy can go hand in hand in some way?
Like a flip side of a coin, yeah.
I mean, our understanding of, for example, logic also comes from philosophy.
Yeah, but if you're going to try to use a philosophical method to do science, you're going to fail. Philosophy is how you get ideas on things. Science is how you use it practically. All right, you have to understand that. If you try to take a science, something in science, and bleed it into philosophy, it's literally a form of de-evolution.
Right, can you explain that again? Sorry.
I don't think I can explain it any simpler than that. All right, so I have an idea about something. All right, just an idea about something, and I want to formulate that into something that can be practically applied. I make a hypothesis in which people can test it and measure it and see how useful it is in the world. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It starts though with an idea. It starts with a philosophical idea. All right, when you want to, you can contemplate it all you like, but when you want to bring it into a practical application, you have to have it scrutinized. You have to have it peer reviewed. You have to have it measured and tested. How well does this work in the real world? All right. When you try to take a science and then de-involve it into philosophy, that's where you fuck up.
I mean, so I can give you a good example. So let's say that we look at the age of consent. We can look at science and biology and see that a woman has her reproductive organs ready at age 12, but we don't want this because a philosophical argument would be made that it isn't practical, right, in that sense, because people will take advantage of it. And philosophy is more about what we ought to do in that sense. Don't you agree?
That's why we don't really. That's why we have age restrictions on adulthood. What you can do. That's because even though the biologicals allow for a 12 or a 13-year-old girl to be pregnant, it doesn't mean that she is mentally and psychologically advanced enough to survive as an adult. It's a matter of survival of the fittest. The Western world has these policies in place because it's about the survival of the fittest. If you allow,
Kaiser, got a question for you, and I'm not necessarily disagreeing with what you're saying, but my question to you is, what's the difference between a girl who's 17 and a day before turning 18 and 18?
You're talking about pushing of the laws. I mean, it depends on.
I'm just asking, what's the difference in that girl between those two things? So a day before she turns 18 and 18.
It's what's permissible. Like you have to have now you're going into the realm of government and law, which is a whole different. You're talking about behavioral sciences and stuff. See, this is exactly why the U.S. made the laws of you can't be a senator or representative in Congress unless you're over 25, and you can't be a president unless you're over 35. Even Orthodox Jews, like you can't be an Orthodox Jew. I can't remember what the equivalent to a Catholic priest. You can't even be that unless you're over 30 in the Jewish in the Jewish law. Like, there's a reason why these age requirements are, because like on the average, people don't reach a certain level of intellect under a certain age. There's a reason for these laws.
Yeah, but let's say that we have.
Like, what do you mean by that? Because I took an IQ test when I was 7.
No. It's not about IQ. It's not about IQ. It's about realizing what you're good at and what you suck at. And most, like the vast majority of human beings, don't actually know, like fully know what they're good at until about the age of 25. Like really know what they're good at and what they know. It's like they're never going to even bother to touch it until about the age of 25. Like I understood, I knew, and I understood I would never be a professional sports. I would never have a career in professional sports at the age of 25. I realized I would never be a professional football player. I would never be a professional basketball player. At the age of 25, I knew I would never be one. I said, it's like, you know what you're good at and what you suck at by the age of 25, like completely. On the average, it takes about the age of 25.
Hey, Kaiser, have you ever you have a lot of practical knowledge of being an amateur astronomist. Why don't you study and become a professional?
Shit happens.
I know, but that can change.
Well, I mean, if you want to answer that question, I mean, I don't want to go to my life story, but I was inherited of a really nasty case of Tourette syndrome, and it was so bad in high school and junior high that I had to go through a lot of medication, a lot of therapy, a lot of really hard times, that by the time I was 22, 23, I had missed so many opportunities that I had to choose a different life. But yeah, I mean, if you want to know my life story, that's what it is.
Okay, I mean, and sweet. So, thank you for that.
I'm sorry to hear that, man. You're a smart guy.
I think you have in you what it takes to be a professional astronomer. I mean, when I was talking to you about Venus and Jupiter, you seem to know a lot about those planets from your 15 years of observation.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the things about me. I mean, I chose a blue collar position. I mean, I do auto mechanics on the side. I'll switch from auto mechanics to delivery driver. I'll do that once every 3 years. I'll work as a mid-level mechanic. After I get tired of that for a couple of years, I go to something a little more relaxed. But virtue signaling, what the fuck? The fuck is Admiral Byrd shit talking about? Virtue signaling.
Snowflake signaling? Is that a thing?
I don't know. I'm reading the side
Virtue
chat.
snowflaking? Is virtue snowflaking a thing?
I'm going to debate. I'm looking at debate chat box and hearing I'm seeing Captain Bullshit, so I'm virtue. Like, talking about my own fucking
Captain Bullshit's
life.
on them nuts, on your nuts.
Yeah, I'm like, he's on my nuts for sure, man, because I'm talking about my own fucking life. He's saying virtues. Holy fuck. Does my life suck that bad to where it sounds like I'm talking about some other poor sap? Is that my life suck that fucking bad? Yeah, I wasn't talking about other people, Captain Bullshit. I'm talking about my own life. If it sucks that bad, donate, bitch. PayPal. Hey, Rick, is that Tony Clifton?
So Bobby's the
Pretty sure that's fucking Tony Clifton.
That's Bobby's the Move from that whatever. Oh, you know what? Tony Clifton's ringing a bell for something. I don't remember what it is though.
It was that made up character from what's that guy's name?
Oh, Saturday Night Live. Saturday Night Live, right? No, that's not it.
He was in Saturday Night. It was fuck from Taxi. What's that dude's name? Andy Kaufman. Yeah, he was in.
Andy Kaufman. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah. Yeah, he was. You're right.
Dude was just like Andy Kaufman, Tony Clifton, Bob Zruda.
Is this guy Debbie's replacement? If so, I miss Debbie.
Talking about me? Am I Debbie's replacement?
No, Hellboy is Debbie's replacement.
No one can replace Debbie.
Yeah, I was about to say, Debbie doesn't have a replacement.
If we say Debbie's name long enough times, she'll show up.
Yeah, it's like Beetlejuice.
It's actually called Debbie Juice.
I was going to call her. She said she couldn't. Fuck, man. Why is life so difficult at age? Man. Oh, bro. Let's. If I just had this phone call, you know, bro, I'd drink some coffee or. I mean, I don't know, well, you know, so.
Admiral
like,
wants me to tell
was...
the Beetlejuice joke another time. So if we say Debbie's name one more time.
I mean, she lives in the United States or something, right?
It's showtime.
Squirt. She told us the other day.
I'm sorry if I read what you're telling me wrong, Admiral.
Chris, are you dating at the moment?
Am I dating? What does my personal life have anything to do with you?
I'm asking you a question. I'm asking you a
Why?
very circumspect.
Yeah, he wants to ask you out on a date.
I'm asking you a very easy, circumspect question, Chris. Are you dating at the moment?
No.
Why not? Do you like being lonely?
It's easier to be anonymous than to talk in person. I'll put it that way.
So you are socially autistic?
Yes.
Yeah, you could thank the Me Too movement for that.
So
It's not the Me Too movement. It's been my whole life, so I don't even know what you're talking about.
Hey, Chris, MGTOW stick together. Chris, MGTOW stick together.
MGTOW, oh no. But women are not to blame, okay? Like, you can also date ladyboys like guys, and you will run into the same problem.
No,
Are you asking him on a date?
No, man, I live in the Netherlands. I don't know where he lives.
Rivaldo, are you at least being a wingman? Because if you can't wing, I don't know anybody that goes that far without at least being a wingman for the guy.
I don't go to bars, so.
Why don't you go to bars?
I go to virtual bars.
Yeah, why don't you wingman?
If I don't drink alcohol, then there's no point in going to a bar.
Why don't you drink alcohol?
Rivaldo, be his wingman.
Because I don't want to.
Yeah, why do you ask why so much?
I mean, it's important for people to explain
why
that
are you
thought.
asking Rivaldo why he's asking why so much?
Listen,
because
why are you asking me to ask him why they're asking you?
The only time I know guys asking why that much is if they're trying to get into your own pants, Chris. Like, I think Rivaldo has a thing for you, man.
I mean, I don't ask why questions to girls because it will feel like an interrogation after like the second question.
No, I think it's because you just don't like. I don't
think it feels different with us.
Yeah, I'm the only one of us in this channel dating right now.
The second one also.
I mean,
Rivaldo, do you swing both ways? Come on, man. Do you swing both ways?
I mean, liking ladyboys is
Shorty
both
swing
bisexual.
my way.
I think Rivaldo swings both ways.
No, I don't. Listen, I'm not attracted to guys. I'm attracted to feminine features.
Why all the whys then?
Yeah, why ask why? Ask Bud Dry.
Why not?
Why a bad question?
I mean, it's important for people to explain their thoughts. So when he says that he doesn't drink alcohol, that's pretty interesting.
Want to travel south this year.
Look, here's a good logical reason I don't drink besides my religious faith. The reason I don't drink is because I can act stupid and know what I'm doing. Whereas if I'm drinking, I can act stupid and have no idea what I just...
I mean, why don't you just go out, make friends, have fun? Like, you are lonely, Chris, at the moment. You're on the Discord server talking to random people while you could go outside and talk to people who matter.
So are you, so what's your point?
I mean, but I also have a social life on the side, you know? Like, I have a big social life. I just
You're not stating your point, though. What's your point?
Listen, Chris, I'm trying to get your life back on track. That's the point here. So you need to go sleep. You need to sleep for 7 hours a day. Stay hydrated. You need to focus on temporary goals, like short-term goals, which give you good meaning.
Are you feeling better talking to him like down like this? I think it's that you're doing this just to make yourself feel better. And that's got nothing to do with Chris
at all. I'd rather listen to Hellboy, so I'm turning Rivaldo down.
Yeah, I was being a dick. I'm sorry.
Oh, that sounds much better. Hellboy, you want to talk to me now?
Is Hellboy still there? Did they take his stalker rank away again? I know. It always happens. Yo, where the fuck is David at, man? Like, I need someone to yell about Russia.
Hey Lottie, do you have any cool
Hard to sing like Lance Staley.
Hey, yeah, want to travel south this year.
Yeah.
I won't prevent safe passage.
Remember how I was saying you're a good
Why you act crazy, not an act maybe.
Hey,
They don't like us singing. They don't like us singing more than one line. We're not allowed to sing more.
Kaiser, I said you're a good amateur astronomer. You should pick that up more than you're singing. You're not. What I'm trying to say is you're not a very good.
Yeah. Where's your astronomy singer?
I want to see like the moons of Jupiter. Can you show me pictures of those?
Couple of them, yeah.
I don't want CGI.
I could show you. I could show you drops of Jupiter in her hair.
Anyways, I want the moons of Jupiter. I don't want the CGI stuff from NASA.
Yeah, hook a brother up with some glow. I need some spheres in my life. I need more sphere.
I'm sorry, Twit.
All right. What the hell happened? Why is Lottie calling him M. Jake Beach?
That's Kaiser scene. Thanks, Sean. Oh, hey, Kurt, you missed Rivaldo becoming my therapist.
Yeah, I'm here now, man. I'm still here for you.
God, is Jake on the plane? Who confirmed? And how? This is important stuff here.
Who's Jake on a plane?
Got it. Okay. Lottie is determined by decree. M. Jake Beach. Do we have to call him that officially now? That's his name? It would be great if it did turn out to be him, because I did guess it, even though I was kidding. So I could still say I was right.
The good news is Chemodynamics is here.
In what fucking universe is that good news, Chris?
Well, you just got back from lunch, so I thought you'd like to know that.
Yeah, who is a flat?
No.
Who is a flat earther named Textiles? I've never seen him in here. I will tag him in the chat. This guy. Who are you? Who is that guy?
Who are you asking about?
A guy named Textiles.
I haven't seen him.
Yeah. Where is he at? I've never seen him in this chat. But he has the champion flatty rank. Ken B. Mr. Beckford. Ken Beckford.
Circumnavigate his dick.
I mean, sometimes it do be like that. Oh, okay. He's like a YouTube figure. Oh, I see. I mean, looks hot. Isn't he something for you, Curved?
Do you have 1,000 subs yet, Rivaldo? I want to super chat you.
He also breaks down like rap songs. Oh, nice. He's a real black man. A real melanated man.
What does that mean? That sounds racist.
I mean, I'm a black man myself. I can say those things, you know.
You're Polynesian. You've denied being black.
I don't get why black men have passes at being racist, but white people don't.
Because there's no real power behind it, right? One second. I'm going to watch his rap breakdown.
All right, throwing this out as a possible topic for discussion. Is it reasonable to attempt to reason with unreasonable people? No.
It depends on the reason.
Give me an example, Chris. Where might it be reasonable to reason with an unreasonable person?
Would you consider my religious beliefs unreasonable?
I'm not like real in-depth familiar with your religious beliefs, but from what I do know, I would probably have to say yes.
Can I still reason with you about those things and be reasonable?
No.
Why not?
Because you're unreasonable. The thing, there's a difference between you and BB. You don't realize that you're unreasonable. BB does, which makes it even worse to try to reason with BB. Oh, CB, back in the old days, the attempt was made to reason with them because that was the knock. It was to prove the people wrong that said that, you know, we wouldn't discuss anything. We wouldn't talk to them. We didn't show anybody. All we did was ban people. The point was there. It was there to show that these people are not reasonable. When you attempt to reason with them and they show themselves to be unreasonable, then that is solidifying the point. But much time has passed. We now know that, I mean, we've got innumerable examples of their unreasonability. And so therefore, it's time to stop reasoning and just mock them for the fools that they are, like BB. The jury rests its case yet again.
I would posture that to Admiral that Joseph Smith is a real person, Brigham Young's a real person, all the other leaders of the church, my church, are real people. It's not flat earth magic. They're actually real people. You may not like their teachings, but they're still real people. Or flat earth is just not real.
Well, Curved, I would agree that arguing with an unreasonable person is not reasonable. However, using the flat earthers as an example, such as BB, you referring to him as an example of an unreasonable person, I could also see how you could be considered an unreasonable person for actually engaging in the act of arguing with an unreasonable person.
I would say
you're unreasonable as well.
It's worth it for a little while for demonstration purposes to show that the person is unreasonable. But at some point in time, you got to cut it. And when somebody like BB, who insists that somebody else's lack of ability to convince him of something is their fault, there's no point talking to him.
Well, I don't know if he's ever asked to be convinced, though.
He's asked for evidence of the globe. After saying that he doesn't value evidence, he says he has no beliefs, yet holds many. He's got a lot of hallmarks of a troll, to be honest with you. I don't think he's sincerely retarded, although his behavior would lead you to believe that if you took it at face value. But I don't think he actually is. I think he's just a troll. And this is a sick little game that he has invented. But I don't mind up to a point. And like I said, for demonstration purposes, you give it a shot. They demonstrate that they're unreasonable. They're unwilling to reason. Totally hypocritical. contradictory. Yeah, why continue?
And that's when I come in and start talking crap. You know, I mean, what else am I supposed to do? I'm only a man.
Well, the average flat earther, this is my opinion. It seems to me that the average flat earther has made a choice to leave the globe rather than not knowing if it's a sphere or flat or whatever, triangle, doesn't matter. Like,
yeah.
I think a lot of people that are in here that are globe earthers or scientists, whatever you want to call them, tend to take on a self-declared flat earther or a earth shape agnostic, if you will, as somebody who doesn't know what shape it is, and they need to be told like they're a 5-year-old. They're just learning for the first time, when instead they should be looking at it as this is an adult who has made the choice to get rid of every bit of information, every factual bit of information they've ever been taught for a reason about the globe. They have burned it. They have thrown it out. They've said no for whatever reason they give. So there's a difference. You can't, it's almost as if you're taking a religion, trying to take somebody's newfound religion, their new experience of a spiritual experience away from them when they're a flat earther. So you're not going to win with science. You're not going to win with facts ever. Now, somebody like Sean or Jose or something, they actually never gave up all of their intellectual honesty. They didn't have an axe to grind with science or with teachers or with their parents or with, the figures that taught them truth over the years. They didn't have these axes to grind. So therefore it was easier for them to just say, I looked into flat earth because there were some things that piqued my curiosity. But then it didn't pan out. So that's why they're back, and saying, I still need to learn things, but I'm definitely not a flat earther. But the average flat earther that we all know, they've made the choice to give up what they've known because they're adults. They learned the same thing we did, the average globe earther did. We didn't give it up though. They gave it up, and it was basically because it was based on a lie. That's their foothold. That's where they come from.
And the personalities too. Yeah.
Well, no, because those personalities have told these people who are listening, and it doesn't matter who's listening. It could be anybody out there listening right now, that you have been lied to. That it's NASA, it's scientists, it's governments, it's everybody, your parents. I've heard them talk about your parents lying to you. That this is a choice that they've made once they've realized that they've been lied to. They want to believe that they've been lied to, and that's the reason that their life sucked, I guess. So if you accept that you've been lied to, everything you've known has been a lie, and you can somehow justify that, okay, well, I'm not going to hate my parents. I'm not going to hate my 6th grade teacher. I'm not going to necessarily hate Joe Biden because he's part of the government. They're not individually responsible for lying to me, but they were lied to as well. So they just didn't know they were actually perpetuating this lie. But I'm still not going to allow them to lie to me anymore. So they might be individually good people, but they make up part of the horrible lie. So I don't hate my parents, but unless they believe me that the earth is flat, then I just can't really deal with them anymore.
Yeah, they're against me.
Yeah, they're
Mom and Dad are always against me. They didn't let me get the earring. They didn't let me keep that cat I found outside, and they're always on my case. So now I'm going to show them I got my own thoughts, Mom and Dad. Look at me thinking like a big kid now.
Right. And that's why they have to keep listening to their gurus that tell them that now it's the time. They give them pep rallies too. There's a lot of flat earth pep rallies.
That's what every show is.
we can grow a new Earth, and on flat Earth everything's better. And we don't want globe earthers. We don't want those science guys, those white coat guys, which I don't know who they're talking about, because they're just normal people, you know. But
Or
we've
people
been
that actually,
labeled.
care about what they're learning in life. They got an idea what they want to be, and then they worked really hard on it, and they got 10,000 hours under their belt, and all of a sudden they're, bad people because they put their life into a certain, aspect of their life they want to grow on. Damn, he's a scientist. What a piece of shit.
The biggest mistake Globe Earth made, Globe Earth and social media on YouTube, let's put it that way, made, was actually engaging and continuing to engage with flat earthers. When one of these guys, like the new guys that are in here right now, they meet Spurs and they think, I'm going to be the guy that's going to give this guy the right answer, so that he's going to see where he was wrong, and he's going to realize, oh, I was wrong, and I'm going to be a globe earther again. It's never going to happen.
If there's a flat earther that's been in here for more than 2 years, he's going to be like chemo. He's going to be one of those. He's never going to learn anything new. Like if you ask him or Debbie, what's the last thing that you were wrong this globe earth, flat earth day? What's the last thing you can say you were wrong about and grew on? They'd never give you an answer, or it'll be some stupid answer.
No. But that's where, that's what flat earth needs. They need the globe earthers that come in and think that they can change a flat earther's mind or change their education on this. They can teach them something. They can show them how they're wrong without even being mean. But they don't understand that that's what a flat earther needs in order to realize that they have been lied to, and you're just another one of those people who are going to lie to me because you've been lied to.
Yes, and that's why I'm here, because people that call it out, I like it. I like when people can analyze what another group of people are doing, like you just did, and then dissect it.
Flat Earth would be.
I love that. That's what I'm here for.
Thank you. Flat Earth would still, Chris, it would still be on YouTube, but it would be the size, and it would be a very much smaller size than it is actually.
No,
but
that's not what I was going to ask. I was going to ask, where would Flat Earth be without YouTube? If YouTube did not exist, there would be no.
It would be on a website.
Yeah, or it'd be just in towns. They'd have like city halls or something.
Who would be able to find information on Flat Earth without YouTube?
Anybody with
I guess you did look for websites.
Yeah, you could just search for it. I mean, what do you mean? Who would stumble across it by accident, you mean?
Yeah, it would be nearly as big, obviously.
About it, so, like, where...
There would be on their websites.
What universe, Chris, stop and think. What universe is there not going to be a site that has a repository of videos? I'm lost here.
That's pretty much what a website is, isn't it? Damn near that. Information and
so
images.
But if you my point is, if you listen to all Flat Earthers, they started on YouTube, and without YouTube...
if instead it was called ChrisTube, they'd have started there. I'm not getting the question.
Yeah, I mean, we could go back in time. That's that whole what if somebody would have shot Hitler when he was 6. We can do what ifs all day long, but the fact is that it exists, and flat earthers exist as well. So do Naribu followers.
So does gonorrhea and syphilis.
Yeah, these things, there's fans and followers of everything you can imagine on YouTube. So the difference is there's not a big contingent of people who want to go and feel the need to help these flat earthers, like or the Naribu followers or the Bigfoot followers. There's not a big contingent, like a large contingent of people who have gathered together to teach, to change their minds, to browbeat it out of them, to set them straight. This phenomena is just one that we've noticed with flat Earth versus globe Earth. It's a thing. And
also creationists, right? I mean, that's really where it started.
Okay. Yeah, you're right about that. I think that's even larger, though. That's a much larger scale.
Yeah, but that, I mean, there is like, yeah, a big group there too, is what I'm saying. This isn't the
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But we have to by far be the second biggest group on YouTube of people who
yeah, probably.
Well, politics aside,
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, if you're talking about something that's crackpot and sane people are trying to correct it, then yeah, I think you're probably right.
And that's encompassing like all. Yeah.
And that's why it exists. I think that's why it still exists to the extent it does today. I think if it was not for the opposition, which we've been labeled the opposition, they would not have a foothold.
No,
like
they need us. They desperately need us to stay alive. And if we stopped, they would disappear even faster than they already are.
Right. However, it's already the plug's been unplugged. You know, the cork's been popped. So I think there's like we've seen how many new globe earthers, our fellow globers, come in today, just today or last night. You know, so there's still new people who are like, I can't believe this.
And if they're of a certain kind of personality, they cannot resist trying to correct this.
Right. And there's also even the sweet ones who, or I shouldn't say sweet, but just a normal guy or the normal girl who will come in and just think that they're doing a good thing, not yelling, not arguing, not belittling, but they're going to help them. They're the one.
Yep.
That's our issues. That's something that's just, and it's not a bad thing. And you can't really, I can't be, it just drives me crazy because we see it happen so much, you know?
What I don't get is the inability of smart people to learn. So they'll do the same fucking thing for 1,000 days, never in, never ever stopping. And if you stop them and say, "Don't you get this?" They go, "Yeah, I get it, but I just want to do it again. Just gonna do it again this 1,000 times." Like, fuck.
Well, I mean, it would be better if they just admitted that they are a troll themselves. Like they are a troll without knowing that they're a troll, or they don't want the label. But that's exactly what they are.
Yeah, I guess
they
so.
just want to troll flat earthers.
They can't resist the bait anyway. Like at the very least, they absolutely can't.
Yeah,
resist.
or you know, there's only so many options here. They're stupid. You know, there's something wrong with them.
A kind of stupidity, like it absolutely is. And when you see it in somebody who's got an IQ of 125, you got to wonder what the fuck is going on, right? Like I don't get that.
One reason I do it over and over, and you guys may disagree with this reason, is that it helps me hone my argument better and think about new ways to present an argument.
Well, okay, let's say that's a class of people who managed to do that. That doesn't account for the behavior we see. I mean, it just doesn't. I'm not talking about you. I mean, I'm talking about this repeating pattern of behavior where somebody will explain tomorrow to Chemo as he comes in and says, "Oh, I don't understand. Explain it to me again." And they'll go, "Well, okay, I've explained it to you 100 times, but here we go from the start."
And this is it could be a guy that's just discovered a new particle that actually works at CERN.
Yeah, no
He's
shit.
He's going to do this for the 16th time. He's going to tell Chemo.
And I think it's, frankly, I just think it's autism. I mean, it sounds like an easy.
Yeah, we've talked about that.
But I think it is.
Yeah.
Like stupid, deliberate ignorance is catnip to a certain kind of autism.
Yeah.
I speak from experience. It's actually autism.
Yeah, so they'll look right at somebody who's being obstinately and deliberately stupid, and that for them is fucking resistible. It's just like, oh my god, where have you been all my life? And they'll sit there for 1,000 hours telling them shit.
And that's when then you sit back with the rest of the 98, 101 IQ people that are going, you know what, that guy's a fucking moron. He's talking to Chemo and Debbie. For the fifth straight day in a row.
We can name the people who've got it bad, right? And you tell me these people are actually stupid. I mean, stupid in the technical sense, right? Like Kaiser, like Moyak, like Goldsteel. Goldsteel's smarter than I am, for fuck's sake. What the fuck is he doing?
Yep.
You know, like
I get caught up in it too. I get caught up.
Yeah, you're not a stupid man, Tony. You're just not. So this like, what the fuck? What is the deal?
I think Kaiser's smart in the field that he's in astronomy, but once he tries to step outside of that, he just rambles.
Yeah, the point is he hasn't got some sort of brain condition. He hasn't a low IQ, and He's bright enough to know better, and yet something else keeps him doing this same stupid fucking thing again and again and again. Yeah, and what is it? It's obviously not intellect. It's something else. It's something. It feeds something emotionally. I don't know.
Yeah.
Gap, personality missing piece. I mean, I don't know what it is.
Then you got these people that talk with their mouths full, just really idiots.
Yeah, well, those I threaten to kill, and it usually works. So.
I do that all the time.
Or you got those who say the word height.
Height, yeah, that's pretty bad.
Well, the bottom line is that is that group, and we're in that group, but we're not as bad as the group who is the reason that flat earthers is continuing to exist on the level it is, on the scale that it is.
For sure.
Because, I mean, look at this is an example. I don't like Fight the Flat Earth. I don't like him. I don't think he's just not my cup of tea. Let's just put it that way. But look at how desperate that group, and I think they're smart guys, you know, not liking them aside. I don't think they're dumb, but they've made a business out of being anti-flat earthers, and and this is going to sound offensive, but they're kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel to get flat earthers to engage with them.
Sure, like McRae.
Debbie.
I remember talking to Steve McRae before and saying, you know, you got to get on this flat Earth bandwagon, you know, while it's going. He's like, oh, I would never touch it. And then non-sequitur show came.
He used to wheel past ED and say, "Oh, here you are with your flat Earth." I'll see. Yeah. Now what's he doing?
Yeah, what are they going to do once they figure out that the Earth is actually flat? Their business model is just going to go kaput.
You can't sound
You're
like
right,
one.
but it's not going to be that reason. It's going to be because their wives finally say, you do have to go get a real job because this is not making us enough money.
They'd have to migrate to another thing.
I feel bad for Fight the Flat Earth if YouTube is his way of making money for his family. But at the same time, what if Flat Earth were to die tomorrow and it wasn't the person who porn bombed his fault? It just died. What would happen to him?
Well, the
would
thing
it be
is,
Flat Earth's fault, or would it be Flat Earth community?
Well, ever since
he
the
would still
apocalypse,
collect his military pension, disability, whatever.
well, ever since the apocalypse, it's shown that, you know, don't, you know, rely on YouTube too heavily, because if they don't like you or what you're saying, they'll just demonetize you. So it's always good to have a plan B.
That's right.
I mean, even, you know, Pooh in the Pie, you know, he's like the best YouTuber ever, and they tried to basically, you know, apocalypse him for, you know, talking about this, that, or the third, you know, so you got to watch out.
And it's not over yet either, Lemon. They're going to continue. You know, I think that within the next several years, you'll see Flat Earth be even squashed a little more by YouTube. It's going to be any what's seen as anti-science movement is going to be squashed, because this new, you know, the Silicon Valley is very much 100% behind pro-science, you know, movements. That's the way it's going to be, and they have to get on board with this whole something similar to the Green Plan. They're going to get on board with that, because that's where PC is, you know.
Yeah, the flat earthers, they get smarter and smarter every day.
It's not going to be an issue.
Well, the flat earthers and they get smarter and smarter every day, and pretty soon they're just going to demolish these globe arguments. You know, once they, you know, go up 1 or 2 power levels, that's it.
You need a map. A map is like the minimum, you know, for entry. So until you have a map, don't even act like you've got a chance.
Well, all you're saying is that we need, you know, reliable distances from the center outward or whatever. But the thing is, the military's in the way. So until we have free exploration, that's not going to happen.
See what happens.
How is the military in the way of you measuring distances?
They're in the way with the Antarctic Treaty because they're manning the Antarctic Ring.
No Antarctic Treaty.
So it was
Listen to what you just said. All we need is reliable distances, as if that's not an important thing. You just brush that aside and act like it's meaningless.
But you can tag
it's the reason you can't make a flat Earth map.
But all you need are just the distances. That's just numbers. The general model is still there.
That should show you that it's so easy.
Lemon, you don't need a general model. You need a scientific model.
Oh, with some sort of brute force as to why everything's flat?
No, you need a scientific model, and the strength of a scientific model is its ability to make predictions for what we observe and what we can predict in the future.
Well, the strength of the globe model is its its ability to work around everything with, gravity, a curve that, basically lets you see anything over the curve as long as you, fudge in the numbers. And,
You're the one working around.
Pro globe zelda.
Funny how you're the one working around the fact that you don't have anything you can verify to support you.
Well,
Same
you
old
say
Lemon
model as in
Lemon, bring something new. Bring something new that's worth talking about.
Well, you say model like you can make a globe that water sticks to with continents that perfectly mirrors the real life with the stars above and everything. You don't have that. You still have more or less the same level of theory as the flat Earth people do. You might have some of the continent, sizes mapped out and some of the distances up to a certain degree of accuracy, but you can't make a ball that floats in space with water sticking to it and stars in the positions that are expected either.
It's impossible, Curve.
Lemon, do you want us to take a quantum physics and do you want us to make like a real world, real life experiment about quantum, physics and the teleportation and all the weird stuff that goes on? You want that also?
That would be a real world model that is reproducible in real life and beyond the theoretical level. So basically, on that level, flat and round, they're both more or less on the same at the same point. But at the same time, there are certain experimental things that match with the flat that don't match the round.
If the common person doesn't have the money for the equipment to do a project like that, it'd be easy to deny and say, well, that's not valid because I can't do it myself.
So it's just a theory that we wrap around real world stuff and stick and affix real world, phenomena to, flat or round.
Can I ask a question to the group at being a new guy on the scene, so to speak? I have an observation I'd just like to run past everyone. I've asked a few flat earthers regarding some basic definitions of physics and some very basic mathematics. I've yet to find one who can actually even understand what the simple equation of Newtonian gravity is. Is that a false assumption, or has anybody else had experience?
No, you'll never find one. You'll never find one.
They're out there, but they're in the shadows. They're in the shadows.
Yeah, they don't exist.
And waiting for their time.
They don't exist.
I'm
What
not
are they?
We have to pave the way for the flat Earth God.
I don't know if I understand the basic equation for gravity under Newtonian physics.
Well, right now we're doing the rituals and the incantations. Robatha still awaits a reawakening, and there's like 2 or 3 others.
Oh my God!
But they're waiting for their time.
Him and L. Ron Hubbard are both waiting then, in the same room.
I can explain gravity simply in 10 minutes. It's not. You don't even need the I can show you the equations, but it's a simple equation. It's not even that complicated.
Oh, sweet.
So
tell me more about your
because I've shown you the equation. I've given you homework.
Yeah, no, you guys do homework.
I'm gonna go to another room. If you'll come down and help me understand that equation better, that'd be awesome.
Sure.
I'm going to go to Flat Earth Gossip.
Godspeed, Chris.
Lemon, I mean, don't you think? Lemon, let me ask you something. So, I mean, so you can't go to Antarctica, but you can go everywhere else. So, barring Antarctica from being in the map, couldn't you guys make a map of everywhere else?
You absolutely can go to Antarctica.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm biting on his, theory here.
I mean, we could make a model, but it's what model we peg the actual measurements to. Do we try to wrap it around the globe, or should we put it on the flat plane?
No,
do it on the one that works.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm proposing to him that this is a pretty ridiculous notion, given the fact that it's impossible to make a flat map, or given the fact that after 2,000 years plus, flat earthers don't have a flat map with accurate distances.
Well, it's impossible to make a globe map too with the firmament in the way. You have to make a bunch of assumptions. So it's which
like the
one's
assumption that there is a
match reality a bit.
I'm sorry, well, I didn't hear your answer. What was your answer, Lemon?
Oh, I was saying it's impossible to make a globe Earth map also because the globe doesn't exist and the firmament's in the way. So we have to make some assumptions and see which assumptions match reality a bit more.
I did just that recently. I looked at different maps, different flat maps, and the accuracy of their distances versus the globe. The globe was like 99.9% accurate as far as the known distances between two cities. Flat maps were anywhere from 20 to, on the typical flat Earth map, was like 50% inaccurate in some cases.
What did you base your measurements off of? Did you base it off of the AE?
Well, the thing I used to set the scale was the distance from New York to Los Angeles. So I have some CAD software. Within that CAD software, you can set like geometry and scale. And then, so I scaled it up with all the distances, scaled it up from point to point with all the cities. And then after that, I set the scale using Los Angeles to New York and checked the distances. So it's just basically using simple geometry and ratios. I could show you a picture.
Were you going off of the AE map or the globe map, or what maps did you use? Which distances?
I looked at the AE map. I looked at the Mercator map. And I looked at another map, a third map.
AE
Look at
is
that one
a
map that has
projection off of a globe deception, so it's a second generation deception. Did you try the Gleason map
say that again. Explain that.
the other
No, explain what you just said.
flat maps that aren't based off of the globe?
Lemon, explain what you just said about the first and second deception. What do you mean? Wait,
the globe is the first deception, and the AE projection off of the globe is the second level of deception. So it's
it's really like it's like 1A and then 1B.
It's and 1C is like 0% accurate at that point. It's good, yeah.
No,
so,
it has to be actually like an actual subject, an object or something. You know, like the globe. You had the globe, then you had the AE map, which is something that's tangible. Third thing can't be zero.
But maybe we should try some of these other maps, the Mercator map, not Mercator, I'm sorry, the Gleason map, or the other one that I posted in here a couple days ago off the Sunday site.
The Gleason map was the Robinson map too. That was the third one.
We should try the Eric Dubé map. That's a good one.
That sounds like a good one.
The Robotham map. How about the Robotham map?
What about the UTM? Debbie thinks she understands that one.
The Universal Transverse Mercator or something like that? Universal.
Hey, London, for entertainment purposes only, I need to ask you. What were you talking about with rituals and incantations? Are they biblical?
No comment.
That's not very entertaining.
That's not entertaining at all.
Robotha, the curvature is with thee.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Is that your guys' Jesus?
Crazy.
That's your guys' Hail Mary.
Flurfer Messiah.
Yes. Flurfer Messiah.
I'm about to post a picture of what I'm talking about to Lemon here.
He doesn't know. I don't know. No one knows. When we talk to Lemon, we say stuff and don't remember it.
Can somebody please unmute Hellboy?
Kosho's got a theory about Russian nesting dreams.
Shout out to Booby Smurda.
So here you go, Lemon. I'm going to post a picture of what I'm talking about.
Isn't Booby Shmurda in jail?
I don't know.
For committing a crime and then recording an album confessing to the crime?
I mean, I didn't listen to rap music. I'm not black curved. I'm Polynesian.
That's correct.
Mitch caught a body about a week ago.
Exactly.
So here you go, Lemon. I'm posting this in the chat to show you kind of how I did this. And I would love to see a flat map that's accurate. I looked at 3 different maps, and I tried to, like I said, I analyzed that were accurate. So if you're aware of a flat map that has accurate distances, you know, that should be the flat Earth map, right? This is pretty easy to do. You can do it with any kind of CAD software.
Well, the closest I could think of would be the Gleason map. That would be probably the closest one that actually matches reality.
Yeah, Gleason map.
Close. Does it match reality? And does it match reality closer than the globe?
What's wrong with Gleason?
That's the one I analyzed. The one that had the big errors.
What's wrong with Gleason?
Well, hold on. I'll post a picture here in just 1 second. I'll show you how the distances work out. I used LA to New York to set my scale, and then I measured the distances from different cities with common flights between them. So I'll post a picture of the map here in just a second that I analyzed.
You know, this really doesn't have to be very complicated. For instance, take a look at an AE map. Look at the distance on that AE map from Sydney to LA, and then continue on to Santiago, Chile, and figure out how the hell you can arrive in Santiago an hour or so, maybe 2 hours sooner than you could land in LA. Would you like to solve that one, Lemonberg?
Solve what?
From Sydney, Australia, you will arrive in Santiago sooner by about an hour or 2 sooner than you could arrive in Los Angeles. Look at it. No.
Trade winds.
What headwinds, what trade winds are you flying in to Santiago that you're not flying in to LA?
If you're going in the direct east to west direction, you're probably catching the trade winds as opposed to cutting across them by going north.
Oh, you're not traveling in a straight line as flat earthers claim on the AE map.
Yeah, you can travel a straight line anywhere. You know,
but
on a
that would not.
map.
Okay, well now you're
Or
back
more
to you haven't answered the question.
But you'd be able to fly, you know, more of a straight line, you know, if you were following the lay of the land. If you were following the lay of the land on the globe, it would be some sort of a curve.
On the
to go in
AE
a straight
map,
line on a curve, you'd have to maintain latitude somehow.
Lemon, look at the AE map. Look at the AE map Flashburn just posted. Do you know where Sydney, Australia is on that? Roughly.
Mm-hmm.
About 1 o'clock position on that map. Near the center, a little left, is LA. And then down close to 8 o'clock is Santiago. You would practically fly over LA to get to Santiago. Yet you'll arrive in Santiago sooner in the real world. Now, are you going to continue to try to obfuscate this simple?
On the Gleason, they're not quite in a line. So that
I
map
didn't
may be
say
off
exactly,
somewhat
but
with
they're
the place.
damn close.
Yeah, but it's off a little bit.
You don't go anywhere near Los Angeles when you're flying Sydney to Santiago. And again, you will arrive in Santiago before you will arrive in Los Angeles. That right there is one simple way that shows you I'm being a dumb fuck with this flat earth bullshit. Matter of fact, that was one of my very first debunks for myself when I was introduced to this idea in 2012. I looked at the map model they were presenting, looked at that, checked out flight times and distances, concluded, yep, this looks like bullshit. I don't even need to be a scientist to know better. Then you start talking about sunrise, sunset, equinox, celestial poles. It just goes on and on and on. Globe stomps flat Earth's ass. Matter of fact, you can't even have sausage gravy on a flat Earth, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, that I give you a clue that that map is nowhere near accurate. You know, I think his example was a little bit better than mine, but I'll go ahead and you can look at the picture I posted too. The distance from Sydney to Cape Town is supposed to be like 6,800 miles. That's the common flight, and on the AE map here, it's 13,303 miles. So it's off by like 50%. Not to mention the whole going over the land thing versus water. So that'll give you a clue that the flat Earth people that you kind of hold on a pedestal are lying to you. They're trying to use this map. The map's bullshit. Did he dip out? Or are you still here, Lumen?
He's here, but there.
Hello?
Is it me you're looking for?
Well, I guess we gotta look into this map thing a bit more.
Yo, pardon me, y'all. Somebody had added me on the in the chat. I didn't know what that was about, but y'all want to say something to me? I'm here for like a couple of minutes.
Let me ask you a question. So, like, you've got basically, like, you're watching all of these flat Earth videos, and all these people are telling you that NASA and the government's lying to you. What if the people that are telling you that are lying to you?
I'd have to investigate their claims also. What were you saying, dude?
Okay, so you're watching it. Go ahead.
No, I know if he was asking me specifically or not. If not, I'm out of here.
You good?
Who's talking?
Textiles.
No, that's Kaiser. Kaiser's not talking.
No, I was just I don't know. I was just added by somebody in the chat a little while ago.
Textiles. Interesting. Who are you, sir? Have you been here before, Textiles?
Yeah, I wasn't here before. I was in here. Everything good?
Oh, everything's great. It's a beautiful globe day.
Are you team flat or team globe, Textiles?
I'm team I'm team Earth, man.
Team Earth.
You believe in Earth?
You have a
No, the Earth believes in me, and yeah, symbiotic relationship.
Well, do you have a position on flat versus curvy?
I was born in Brooklyn, New York. We don't like many things flat, except the truth. The truth is always flat, man. The truth is laid down flat, right? Is the truth curvy? The truth wavy? Or is that like...
I mean, the truth can take you in all different directions.
Well, the truth can take you wherever you want to go, but you know, how does it get you there?
Well, Tex, let me ask you this. Have you ever challenged anyone to circumnavigate your dick?
Have I ever challenged anyone to circumnavigate my dick?
Yes.
Oh, Lord.
What's going on, Ken?
Most likely.
Crazy.
Have you?
No, I'm not Ken Beckford. No.
Okay, well, cool.
Yeah, Ken, we gotta flow again sometime.
I'm sorry?
So we gotta flow again sometime. It's been a long time.
Flow like water, man.
Yeah, that too.
Okay, like I wasn't like trying to hide who I was, if that was what you guys were alluding to.
No, I was being serious because we should flow again sometime.
Okay. Great energy in this room.
So what do you think about the whole map thing, Textiles? The fact that there's no flat map, no accurate flat map.
I mean, I always said that this is bigger than us. We think we could do everything. We can't. We gotta accept what's real and what's not. If just because you can't measure the plane doesn't mean that it's not flat. But I'm not saying that it's flat neither. But I'm saying the horizon is definitely flat. However, we just because it's flat, whatever. You don't have to have a map. Like how could you really physically measure the Earth while you're on the Earth? Like you're part of the Earth. You're shaping the Earth as you're trying to measure it. Like stop it. Just leave it alone. That's not your job.
You don't think we can measure distances?
I mean, you can measure, but you're not going to be 100% accurate because you didn't make it. So you can measure, yeah, for where you need to go, what you need to do per se, but it's like an elective. You don't have to take that class. Do you still graduate if you don't take that class? Yes, you can. Unless you don't think so. And then you're going to keep failing because you're never going to be able to pass that class. So why would you keep taking it? That's like insanity, right?
I mean, Textiles, I'm sitting in a desk right now, okay? I didn't build it, but I can damn sure measure it. The desk is not the Earth,
bro. The desk is not the Earth. You can't see the whole Earth.
Physical.
You can see your whole desk. You can swallow your desk. You cannot. The Earth is not your desk. Let's just say that. The desk can't measure.
Can you prove that? Can you prove the Earth is not his desk?
Can you prove it?
You made the claim.
Well,
what about a house though? We can measure how wide and long a house is, even if you're living in it.
I'm not saying you can't measure. These are obviously things that you can measure, but you can't. How can you measure the Earth? Where would you start?
Just from my feet to the tree over there.
That's not measuring the Earth. That's only measuring. I'm talking about the whole Earth. The whole Earth. Like you would need the craziest team in the world to make that happen.
We call that team cartography.
Talk about unity first on the planet before you can measure the Earth. You can't even go on certain places on the Earth.
There's a whole avenue of academia dedicated to that cartography. That's why people have been making maps.
But they are based mainly on the globe, isn't it? or at least they present information that is
because their
popular,
measurements agree
even
with
though that
that model.
I'm sorry?
Their measurements agree with that conclusion.
This is what I'm saying. So it's not. So it's false. I mean, because
That's not
obviously
the
you can tell. You
logical
can tell.
outcome of that. No.
I mean, you can tell. You can tell. You can see the Earth is not 93 million miles away from the sun, and the sun varies.
How can you tell? What do we observe
well,
that wouldn't happen if the sun were actually
the
that
sun? How big is the sun?
That's not an answer to the question, sir.
Well, it is an answer to the question because it's part of the answer to the question.
No, it's another
So
question.
if you knew the amount of all right, you can. I know what you like to do. You're the circumnavigator, aren't you?
No, you.
Okay. Well, are you part of the KKK or something?
That's really got no place here.
Oh, okay. So neither does the way that you're speaking to me.
Absolutely, it does.
All right. I guess because you're in the KKK, maybe.
What is KKK about the way I'm
doesn't mean that
speaking
he's
to
part
you?
of the KKK. That's the Democrats pushing their racist history onto Republican white men.
Well, the
But the
Republicans
thing
were
is-
actually black people because this is the republic of people who are of color. So.
Well,
So,
is
Ken,
this more
how
of
do you
that?
see that the sun
Is
is
this
not
more of that
93 million miles
appropriation
away?
of history along the lines of Egypt? Was full of black people as opposed to Middle Easterners. We was kings. We took everything that the white man stole. Is this like more cultural appropriation to blacks from whites, or is this historically based in fact, or what is this?
I'm kind of lost here.
It's the ignorance egged on by negative energy inside of myself and others.
Ken, how do you see that the
if we
sun
have
is not
history to back
93
it up,
million
I'm
miles?
all for it. I'm just saying.
Nah, it's just that when you're a person and that's born here in this country and you know who you are and you know what energies that are out there that want to rip and tear away from you and try to infuse negativity into you and into others, it just makes for an uneasy situation. So I'm refraining from speaking on much at this very moment because I don't really like negative motherfuckers.
I feel you. It just feels like we're able to take everything from whites and say, white man stole everything. I mean, did they steal everything? I mean, didn't they originate some positive things without necessarily, enslaving and killing people for America or whatever? I mean, black people are very creative and very talented, musically and otherwise. But did whites steal everything from blacks? I mean, I'm just saying.
Did they?
Do you think so? I'm trying to look into your heart and see your willingness to, love your white brother versus hate him and ascribe to
I
him
don't
every
really
ill,
have a problem with
Hebrew
white
Israelite or
people.
whatever.
I don't really have a problem with any people of any color until they act as if they are not people. You feel me? Like someone on here came on and asked me if I ever asked someone to circumnavigate my dick, and I felt that was very inappropriate. And so, like,
it was a joke, man.
Only somebody who's a dickhead of any race would want to take it there. Like last time I was in here,
it's your most famous quote for fuck's sake.
I'm sorry?
I did not make that up. You made that comment.
Nobody said you made that up, but the last time that I was in here
that
was
comment, motherfucker.
There you go again, cut me off. This is what I'm saying. You're
made that comment.
Thank you.
Oh, so
thank
you thought it was like a
That's what it
disrespectful
is. You
comment.
love me.
I think he was.
You made the comment. Lying,
but I think
bitch.
he was trying to be,
I never denied making the comment. However, I'm just saying that I don't know who you are. I don't know nobody.
You did deny it, and you just did again.
I denied it when?
You're a lying sack of shit. Get him, Lemon.
See?
This is getting out of hand.
Whoever I was talking to before this guy came in
friends.
is he's basically displaying exactly what I'm talking about right now.
Well, I think it's getting out of hand because he made it as a joke and good jest, not as a disrespectful thing.
How do you know?
I mean, I'm peering into his heart and I'm seeing good stuff. You're peering into his heart and seeing negative stuff.
So he's calling me a lying stack of shit. I said that I admitted saying that whatever he said that I said. So what am I lying about?
You denied it.
When did you guys on here hear me deny saying anything?
I thought that's what you said originally. I mean, at least he's saying he admits it at this point, Curve, so he might have misspoke, I guess. I thought he was just joking to lighten the mood. I didn't realize he was quoting you from what he's saying.
And did I deny it when he said that I said it? That's what I'm asking. Why is there nobody saying yes or no?
When I asked you.
No, not you. I don't want to hear you. I want to hear the people who are hearing me in here. Obviously, this is the whole group of fucking shills or assholes because none of you are saying yes or no. So y'all defending what the fuck this guy's saying.
It's your most famous quote. I used it to identify you, to ask you if you were Ken Beckford. You denied it.
So you're talking about something he said in another time?
Yes.
Like you're a quote.
Yes, he has said this
chat.
previously.
No, you didn't say it in this chat, but previously in another time.
Yeah, when he was here last time or whatever. It's been a while. He doesn't come around much because he gets his ass handed to him regularly. So
he ran away. He ran away.
Damn, Curve, you got some good memory.
Sweet Jesus.
He ran away? Well, that didn't take long.
Curve's memory is astonishing. Just for the record, there's nothing this man forgets.
Who are you?
Shit, I thought he was joking.
Who are you? Yeah.
Look, I'll shill for Jesus. I'll shill for the truth, but I will not shill for any model. Well, I'll shill for the flat model, but not for the globe.
And then what if I paid you? If I paid you to shill for the globe, a decent salary, would you?
You'd have to pay me a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yes. An albino. I'm gonna need his body parts for my incantation, preferably living.
And shit just goes south here so quick. Like we were having like a reasonable conversation. Within like 10 seconds, it's just all downhill.
Oh, my bad. It was a bad joke about how Africans kill albinos for their magical body parts for different spells and stuff.
Is that true?
Yes. Still happening today, it looks like. I saw a heartbreaking picture of a person whose arms had been hacked off. He still lived, though.
Damn, that's horrific. It's so brutal. Talk about the odd man out, being a black albino in Africa, my lord.
And there's also the theory that, whites came from blacks and were some sort of, had some sort of genetic recessive gene or whatever. And that's why they had to leave Africa, because they couldn't handle the sun.
How is it possible to be a black albino?
Anybody can be
It's possible.
Isn't that like an oxymoron?
Well, if you could call black.
Well, you have animals that that come out like albinos. I mean, they're like preserved, like in zoos, to protect them, because when they go out in the wild, they're a little bit.
Are they
different.
black animals, Debbie?
They're the same animals.
Okay, then you're not answering the question. That's the point.
It's the same animal.
I think the correct term is African American.
Maybe it's frequency. I don't know. I don't know. Just something in the trait maybe came. I don't know.
And we're talking about people who are living in Africa.
Then
Africa
would probably be the
what Litton was saying was true. So why is it that when they find animals, they preserve them and let them live a long, healthy life? It don't make sense.
I mean, you can just say that, I guess, what would you call them? Africans, I guess, would be the proper term. They have kind of distinct features, just like Asians do, kind of broader noses, thicker lips. There's certain characteristics that you can use to distinguish them. Typically. Whoever is asking that's the oxymoron, I posted a couple pictures in the chat.
Oh.
Well, that guy looks Scottish to me, B. Fitty.
Does he?
That's probably
Maybe
Shirley's
he's the
name.
one true Scotsman. Yeah, you think so? Let's see if I can find another decent one. Lemon, have you heard of the cannibal? What was it? The cannibal generals of Liberia? You're talking about like Africa and kind of some of the atrocities that go on there. Have you ever seen that Vice documentary about the cannibal military leaders? And I think it's Nigeria specifically.
Yeah, I think I've heard that they like take like a body part and nibble on it, after they, kill someone or vanquish an enemy or what.
Yeah, there was one general specifically who would like, I mean, we're talking about even kids here, who would like cut the heart out of kids and eat it. And he was well known. It's like basically kind of a myth, like you were talking about. Like if you eat an arm or whatever you do to African albinos, it like gives you some sort of power. Same thing with cannibalism. During the wars, there were a lot of cannibals who would eat human parts. I mean, even children hearts, and they would believe it would give them like some kind of power, like invincibility or something going into war. And then after the war, he converted to Christianity and was able to avoid any prosecution whatsoever by converting to Christianity and promoting Christianity.
Think he was sincere or one of those fakers or what?
I think he probably did save his ass, is my guess. Because he was going to be tried for war crimes.
Wait, Lemon. If he was sincere, do you think that makes it okay? Like, should he still be prosecuted?
If he turns away from, killing and hurting people, there should be forgiveness. If God, deems it, forgiven, pardonable or whatever, forgives him, then who am I to judge him myself?
A better
as long as he
person
doesn't hack
didn't
me up
kill
and
a
kill
bunch of
me.
people and eat baby hearts. That's what you are, Lemon. A better person than him.
I want forgiveness beyond sin. Now, if anything can be forgiven, there's always hope. But if we, just condemn people, forever, then there's no hope.
I forgive you, Lemon.
Now I want to say something
I
because
forgive you too,
earlier,
my brother.
Earlier, Textile said something about Curve being in the KKK. Now, Kuh in German means cow, and Klok in Dutch means bell. Now, the origins of this is from Switzerland. And in Switzerland, they speak like a mishmash of different languages. So basically, the KKK is nothing more than the Cowbell Clan.
Moo. I just didn't like that, well, I think he got insulted when you said that dick comment or whatever. Us black people are tired of being stereotyped for our penis size. It's very, very it's very dehumanizing. You have average sized Africans, small Africans, large African Americans. It's a vicious stereotype.
Are you serious?
You can look at it that way.
That's a good thing, Lemon. That's like saying, like, you're pissed off because, you're perceived as being smart or intellectual. No, we don't want that.
I just hate it. When I saw Siri in that new Black Panther film and she was like Mary Sue and she knew everything, I was like, we have some dumb African Americans too, even though she's African and not American.
Yeah. That's so funny to me. That's hilarious to me. You find that a bad thing, that stereotype, which is a positive stereotype, you find that to be a negative thing. That's crazy.
And why
Well-
can't the movie show up like a smart, I mean, obviously they have some dumb people in Wakanda, but they're not the ones, fighting villains and shit.
For everyone who just arrived, Lemon's joking.
Oh my god.
Lemon's joking?
I just
thought he
learned
was
to
serious.
I don't know anyone on the server.
It's all
Anyways.
good. Sometimes I can't quite tell myself. But where are my dumb Wakandans at?
I don't know. Oh, I just really came in to say that I made the graph I posted earlier. I made it finally account for viewing height, and it completely corroborates the results of Metabunk curve calculator and stuff. So I mean, yeah, I have my own little thing here.
Well, the thing is, are we seeing actual physical curvature or optical curvature? That's the main issue. If we're seeing optical curvature, it's going to look, like it's falling away when really it's physically not. So there's an issue here of,
optical versus actual physical curvature.
Why would it look that way?
Because your eye probably works in some sort of conical, cone or whatever with the light rays.
You
It's
can't.
probably just the way light works.
You can't say optical curvature may be the culprit, and then your explanation is, well, you see, your eye, it's a cone, and
Don't forget probably.
Oh yeah, probably it's a cone. Don't worry.
Well, the thing is, we don't see the physical architecture of the planet matching our projections. We don't see angling. We don't
What do you
see
mean? What do you
the
mean we don't
curvature
see that?
matching the lasers. We just don't see curved water. It's not matching up.
You don't see curved water. How do you expect to see curved water?
You need to see some sort of curvy hump in the water, and then bodies of water that flow would have to flow with the curve of the Earth if they're going downward toward the curvature. Things like the Nile would have to
that there's
flow
no
upward,
real objective
against the curve.
down, right?
If you
Like,
wrap your
you
mind
seem to-
around the mangling globe model, you're going to think in those terms. If you reject it and let it go, that thing just seems spurious, dubious, and
That's
just
the thing.
insane.
You're making claims about the heliocentric model. You're saying on the heliocentric model, water would flow downwards. But what do you define as downwards?
Downward toward the lower grade, toward the center.
But what do you mean towards the lower? Like what part of the Earth is the lowest? Like on the surface of the Earth, what do you define as lowest?
Well, there are deformations in the planet.
Well,
they say
there's that, but you say water would be flowing down the curve.
Miles in the lower part of the Earth, so it's not a perfect sphere right there.
But that's not the claim you're
any sort of
making.
difference would,
And it
cause
still
the
does
flow
flow
of water.
downhill. Like an example
Yeah.
of that being the Nile, it flows north, whereas
Yeah,
like
it flows downhill
river
over
flows
the
south,
flat
just
plain,
because of
not
the way
over
the
a
elevation's
curve.
laid out.
Yeah,
but
but
it
like
can't fly downhill over a curve because the Nile.
But it's
only
the
goes
thing is,
down
it's
by
following
1
the curve.
If
If
you
you
look at
if you change
elevation, but
your,
it's going up over a hump of Earth curvature to flow northward.
it's
to
not
its
going up
tributary.
above
So
a
that's
hump
a
of Earth
contradiction.
curvature. If you change,
It's
if you
going
move
up
2
against the
degrees
curve
along
because
the
it's
curve,
going from
the
the
direction
southern
of gravity will
hemisphere
change by
to
2
the
degrees as
northern
well.
hemisphere, going north over a hump. of
Charlotte McPhee,
It's
you
not going
realize
over a hump.
that water
Yes, it
conforms
is.
to the forces
Going from
acting
south
on
to
it.
the
So
northern
when water
hemisphere,
is
it's going
flowing,
over the hump of the equator.
there's
which
no
is a
hump.
contradiction.
Charlotte, that's what I'm calling you because your name is that. But you realize that you never like this. That what you're saying is if you traveled south on a globe, the Earth would become progressively steeper and steeper until you were upside down. Is that what you believe? If the Earth was a globe.
Now,
All right, but you're making claims about the heliocentric model, but you're rejecting part of what the what makes the heliocentric model works. Like you can't.
Because the heliocentric model doesn't work.
That's like me saying, all right, the Earth isn't flat because gravity wouldn't allow it. Which I mean, if I didn't disprove that, like if I didn't prove that gravity existed to you, and I used that, that would be fallacious. Because if I didn't prove to you that gravity existed, and I've just made it part of my grounds to disprove you, then that doesn't work. What you're saying is, well, gravity doesn't exist, so when you go downwards on a globe, you'll fall off. But you haven't disproven gravity to me. And we have every reason to believe that gravity exists.
Gravity is something else other than we think. There's another reason for why stuff goes down. Maybe.
Well, can you give me an explanation for why things fall?
It might just be density in the medium. We're in a particular medium.
But what is there any directionality to density? Is my question for you.
Than it, so we fall down.
But why is there a directionality to density? Why don't things fall upwards if they're dense?
The other way, we just have gravity going up. It's arbitrary. It's like asking why left is right, why a circle is a circle. It's too much. It's not necessary.
Yeah, but no. At least we have a directionality to gravity. We move towards the. We move towards the high. We move towards a mass. Like mass attracts mass. That's the basis for gravity.
But mass attracts
But
mass
for your density thing, it's just all right. If it's dense, it goes down. But there's no objective down. If you get spun around and there's no forces acting on you, you have no way of knowing which way's down, which way's up. There's no like that's like asking
mass for many reasons. Sometimes it could be electrical surface.
Yes, but we're not made out of ferromagnetic materials, so that would be impractical to even try to use that as an explanation.
Gravity's due for a makeover anyway. It should have been remade.
It's due for a makeover.
Yeah.
All right.
It's outdated.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's worked for almost every prediction we've ever made. The only exception being with dark matter and dark energy.
It's probably reification. They take the parts that work and just reify their model with it.
Well, see, that's the thing. It works for like everything else. So what are the odds that it's just we don't, it's completely wrong and that it coincidentally works for everything on Earth and everything else we've observed, or that there's something that we haven't discovered yet that is sort of skewing the results?
Well, gravity needs workarounds to keep the model propped up. You need,
like what do you mean? Can you give me an example of that?
To explain why these stars are moving faster than they should be in the universe. It has workarounds.
That doesn't. Dark matter does not explain why stars are moving faster. You're thinking of dark energy.
Yeah, it's a workaround.
And they're not technically moving, actually. They're being redshifted because the universe is expanding the space in between.
It's a theoretical way to explain the gravity, the mass missing in the gravity model.
Yeah, dark matter's the mass missing. That's exactly it. It's just a mass that we don't know. We don't know what it is. It doesn't seem to interact with other matter in any way, shape, or form. We can't really observe it other than seeing its results on normal mass.
So
it's just
theoretical workarounds. Why don't we just invite another models like the flat one?
Can you tell me how electrical model would work?
It might put orbiting bodies on electrical magnetic tracks that are very stable around which they
Don't you think we would pick that up with every electromagnetic sensor we have?
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't make sense.
My own workaround saying that maybe electricity changes form. Maybe we don't fully understand what's going on.
So what you're saying is there's basically a form of the electromagnetic field that's different from the one we know.
Something else that might give other explanations.
What if I said that gravity changes form, and that's why we can't explain why dark? What dark
wait.
Is?
So you're saying there's an electromagnetic field or something?
Your claim is more specious than mine.
No. What?
So wait, no, let me get this clear. You're saying there's basically a type of electromagnetic field that we don't know about yet, and it behaves in such a way that makes the planets orbit and makes things fall on Earth. Well, what if I were to tell you we've given a name to this field, we call it the gravitational field?
Yeah, that's all gravity is. It's a field that makes things
electromagnetic ether, and you're trying to massage it into an unworking model.
No, we're basically saying, this doesn't behave anything like the electromagnetism we know. Let's call it something else.
Yeah, for one thing, electromagnetism is many orders of magnitude stronger than gravity. You understand that, right?
Well, maybe the electricity changes form from charged to uncharged.
But you can't just say that. You can't
uncharged things aren't affected.
Excuse me, what I'm saying is completely wrong. So I'm just going to say something else and just completely make a workaround for what you're saying here.
Dark matter. I've seen
if I said if I said you were a 2-year-old girl and you said no, I'm not, and I said, but what if you just changed form? That doesn't work. You can't be when you're presented with counter evidence to what you're saying. You can't just say, well, I mean, it changes form. So
I see blue arcs of electricity. What color is gravity?
Lemon, have you looked into this water and space thing where you have super fluids? They're talking about bringing the temperatures down to a cooling state where it continues. If you move it, it continues to move forever.
With all due respect, Debbie, that has nothing to do with the conversation. Now,
it could be dark matter. I mean, where they're talking about water space, and like I went to yesterday about the dense water that's in the rivers, like under the ocean, like the bottom of the ocean. You have a denser water. So like with scripture, it's like the waters that divide the waters above the water, and then you have below, where you have waters that divide the waters below. So think of it as that water is like the key element to everything in this world, that water is so important. And I think that
water important? Why? What evidence
because you're
do you
born
have that it's anything more than
because you were born into water, and the birth of this universe begins with water.
What do you mean happen? What do you mean it begins with water? I would argue it begins more with just
Don't you think water is essential in the universe? Like
not essential to the
life?
universe. It's certainly essential to life.
The planet is mostly water.
The planet, yeah, Earth. You know,
I'm saying there's
literally
new
a
studies
billion-
with Stanford University, Waterloo. They're talking about this superfluid down to like Kelvin. It's interesting stuff. It's just new research that's being put out there.
Yeah, but I'm saying that water isn't essential to the universe itself.
And yeah, it is.
What do you mean? Like the water didn't even come to be until billions of years after the initial. Like if you are, and it does sound like you're agreeing with me here. Like in the formation of the universe, water wasn't present at all.
How do you know that?
Well, I mean,
Like-
it's not that hard to extrapolate.
You
here.
don't know that.
You know,
Nobody knows that. Not one scientist.
Yes,
You
actually.
can speculate. I mean, and
See,
have
heavier
like
elements weren't even formed until, well, I mean, I can't give you an exact timeline here, but they weren't formed until way later in the universe's life. It started out with just subatomic particles, and then protons and all that formed, and then you got hydrogen. All right, and then when that clouds of hydrogen pulled themselves together and basically created a nuclear reactor, and nuclear fission started and stuff like that, then you get the heavier elements. Then you get helium and carbon and oxygen and all the heavier stuff. Those come from supernova. So
that may be
the fact
true.
that
I don't know.
Yeah,
For
can you
them
prove
to-
any of that?
you can't prove it. Okay, well,
I
that's the
can't wrap
thing.
my brain around how everything formed from just something materializing just on a whim.
Just because you can't
and then put everything in motion, and we're still moving.
Just because you can't wrap your brain around it doesn't mean it isn't.
It may not be true. They have to go back to the drawing board, so to speak. I think, and
Why
sort
do
of
you think that?
incorporate the electrical universe and look to more studies in that. And there are more studies to that in
Here's the thing,
experiments.
Why is the electrical universe?
Because we're all electric. We're energy beings. The Earth is filled with energy frequency, as Tesla was describing.
Well, have you done an experiment to show that?
I am electricity.
tell you
Doesn't
right
my
now.
brain run on electrical? Aren't we electrical beings? Basically, we're energy.
All right, what you're saying about the Earth? You're saying it has tons of electrical frequencies and stuff. Are you aware what the concept of grounding is? It's
Go ahead.
basically the concept that the Earth is so
And
big and so neutrally charged. There's literally like no electrical charge in the Earth itself, except for the core and the poles and stuff. But like actual just the
In
crust
the
of the
Earth.
you can.
I don't know what's
you
in
can
the Earth.
take-
I mean, do you really confirm what's in the Earth? I have
I'm
not.
not talking about
I
that. I'm
look at-
saying that I'm saying if you take like a charged balloon, like you rub a balloon against your head, all right, and now it's charged, all right, due to the
Mhm.
transfer of electrons. If you touch that to the ground, it will lose its charge. Do you know why?
Because it's an opposite charge. You have your positive and negative, all that stuff.
It's neutral.
Positive
Like,
and
the
negative.
ground is neutral, meaning that all the
Yeah.
electrons force themselves, since they repel each other, they force themselves into the ground until there's not enough force to push them into the ground.
Okay,
anymore,
well,
making the balloon
that's not describing how the Earth was formed and the
I'm
sudden
describing that the
awakening
Earth,
and
I'm
some
refuting your claim
gases
that the Earth
exploded.
is electric. I mean, in
Mhm,
some
it
senses,
is.
yes, it is, but I mean that's purely because of the rotation of steel, like the iron
Well,
core.
I think it looks some deeper looking into. Maybe they got it wrong and
All right, I really hate when people try to bring stuff like it's just it's an
Aren't we
electric
evolving?
world. You're trying to bring
Aren't-
abstracts.
don't we
into
evolve?
specifics.
Isn't it okay to, if you have theories out there going on that have not been substantiated, don't you think that if there's something more concrete that it should be looked
universe is
at.
completely like it's not even.
No, it's not.
A thing to be looking.
That would definitely explain the Coriolis effect. The way that you have like
How to explain the Coriolis effect?
It's like I don't know if you've seen Thrive to Survive. So I'm still trying to get wrap my brain around this. Where you have lower pressures go to high pressures, or the opposite. So you have the sun and the moon on electrical charge, and that is been looked into. That the electricity of it, or whatever it's doing, could be moving, which be pulling the tides. It's very interesting.
Can you cite a source for that?
Yeah.